It's time to check out some custom Magic the Gathering cards. How crazy do they get today? We're going to start off with an Indulging Vampire. It's a 2-mana creature. It's a star 1 creature, Vampire Noble. Indulging Vampire's power is equal to the number of red permanents you control. Blood is red too? Oh my god. So this is like almost like maybe a super Tarmogoyf? I can't say it's even that broken. Like, how big can it be on turn 2? Basically a 2/2. So it's basically the Tarmogoyf for red, except it has no toughness. It's very bad at blocking. It's arguably not even good at attacking. You better give it first strike and, I don't know, double strike and trample. Otherwise, it's all screwed. Yeah, blood is red. You know what? That makes a whole lot of sense. Those blood artifacts probably should have been red. What part of colorless is blood in the first place? It has 1 toughness. It kills it. We mean it kills it. You know what would kill it? Gut shot. Gut shot, lava dart. Probably we got all the answers, actually. We got Ren in 6. We got Orcish Bowmaster's Plague Engineer on Vampire. I mean, it's basically dead before it's even alive. All right, you know what? It sort of looks strong. At first, like, it can abuse red permanents, but at the end of the day, it's just a 1 toughness creature. I mean, you better get them lords out to make it effective. Okay, great idea. It's not bad. It's not bad, yeah. Like, it kills the viability, it having 1 toughness. Well, I mean, you gotta balance this out, people. You gotta balance. Do we need, like, a second Tarmogoyf in this game? Even better than the first one? No, we got this star 1 creature looks actually pretty rad here. Actual fun fact, blood is green until it contacts air, then it turns red. Oh, I thought it was blue. But you know what? I question everything that I learned from elementary school. All right, our first super chat of the day. We got the damn draws in your stead. If you want to be part of the show, you got a super chat. Just like the damn draws. You got to join my Discord first. What was it? In your stead. Join my Discord. Submit cards in the custom card section, and then you got a super chat with the name of your card, and we can share it on the show. In your stead is a 4-mana enchantment. If you would sacrifice a permanent you control or discard a card, you may exile a card from your graveyard instead. If you would sacrifice a permanent you control or discard a card, that's well, I can't really say this is broken because it's like 4 mana. It's very expensive. That's also a completely, how do I put it? A very original idea. I've never heard of, like, well, instead of sacrificing, you exile a resource in the graveyard instead of doing that. And by the way, if someone's discarding stuff from your hand, I don't know, turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, it's not nearly as impactful. Although it would be interesting, somebody tries to play, what's it called? Wheel of Fortune, and you're like, oh, I'll just exile like a few cards from my graveyard, keep all the cards in my hand, and then draw a whole new 7. That would be it would really get those Wheel of Fortune players. In fact, you actually play them together, I suppose. Okay, cool card. I like this. It's not bad. It's not bad. Do you know what? To break this card, you make it into a ley line, but you know what? You didn't do that, so you actually played it fair. LOL, blood is not green before it gets in contact with oxygen. It's always a shade of red in your veins. By the end of today, we're going to learn that blood is like all colors of the rainbow before it turns red. Okay, Remote Caldera. This is a land. This land enters tapped unless you control no non-land permanents. Enters unless you control no non-land permanents. So basically, if it's your first land on the battlefield, if then, like, nothing's happened, it's tapped unless you control no non-land. Yeah, okay. Basically, you have no permanents in play. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we can have other lands. Unless you control no non... Yeah, okay. So we can have as many lands in play as we want. And then we get this sweet new Badlands. It's Badlands. You can't search for it. But it's another way of trying to get in dual lands into this game. Toads is trying to gaslight us. It's worked. It may be blue, but not red until platelets hit oxygen. All right, thank you very much, Toads. For anyone who needs to confirm, please Google everything that Toads has to say on this topic. You can have other land. Yeah, we can have other lands. It's a unique take on dual lands. It just shows there's like a lot of room to reprint the dual lands. I mean, you could even potentially make this a mountain swamp, and it would still be. It would still work. Like, it would still be a strict downgrade to the OG Badlands. Because, like, it only becomes useful, or it only comes into play untapped very early on in the game, and later on in the game, it's just going to be a land that comes into play tapped. So I think this is actually a fantastic design space. But in addition to that, I think we could tack on the Swamp Mountain factor on here. I don't know if that pushes it too far. I mean, this is clearly in safe territory, 100%. But you know what? I like the idea of making slightly watered down dual lands. For anyone that's afraid of infringing on the reserve list, I think this definitely qualifies. I don't like the word no non. Yeah, I that's why I read it like 20 times over. Oh, this no didn't happen isn't. No, that's a bit confusing. So, how can we word this better? This land enters the battlefield tapped if you control a non-land permanent. That's we solved it. We solved it, David. And by we, I mean mostly me, but I appreciate you also acknowledging the confusion of a double negative on the card. I like these as common or uncommon. No! These are rares! They're rares! Wizards needs to make money. Money, 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 money. They love it. Maybe make them mythics or something. What is it a bingo spot for? We do have bingos. Here's our bingo. Wait, does this hit anything? I almost wasn't able to read this card. Just because of the double negative. That was funny. But that's what we got for today for our thing. This land enters untapped if you don't control a non-land. I don't like that one. This land enters tapped if you... Oh, do we have to have the unless? Is that like super important? I think this remote caldera enters tapped if you control a non-land permanent. I think that makes some sense. Oh, I improved the card. You better believe I improved that card. Nikachu improving a card. Yeah, making it readable. Okay, cool. Moving on. We've got Wish. It's called Wish, but it works in Commander. It's a wish, but apparently it's going to work in Commander. A sorcery. Name a card that wasn't in your starting deck, but fits all its deck building restrictions. Create a copy of the named card. You may cast the copy. This is like, it's too close to alchemy though. Like, that doesn't feel right. This is clearly unset territory. Give it the acorn, give it silver border. I mean, this is silver border in disguise. It would never fly anywhere. Thanks everyone for recognizing that this is a bingo spot. Okay, we got five plus words in the name on the bingo card. Boom, shabang, bada bang, bada bang, bada boom. This is mental. Yeah, now we're going into mental magic territory. Mental magic is where you play a game where you have to, you can use cards from in your head, but you have to keep track of what you've played. And I believe no one's allowed to play the same card twice. Deck building restrictions would just be your commander's colors, wouldn't it? Yeah, but like, still, is it really that restricted? It's not really that restricted. So basically, here's the thing, like, normally when you wish for a card in the sideboard, you're only allowed 15 cards from that sideboard. This card basically says that you have the entire card pool of Magic the Gathering as your sideboard. All right? I mean, that's... Yeah, a little broken. Maybe just a little broken. It's complete bubkiss. There's companion restrictions too. Yeah, I mean, true story. Nikachu needs to take his bottles in. He's got 5. See, the most random. You're basically the Wint of my the Wint of MTG. There is always an answer. effectively, especially when you're using with wishes but in Commander. Nope, that does not fly with me whatsoever. All right, Winter Fox, what do you got for us today? For the 5th card, oh, I see. This is combined with another one. Okay, we'll take a look at that after the sponsor segment of the show. The Hunting. It's a 2-mana sorcery. It's using Obsidian as a picture. Each player unlocks all locked doors and locks all unlocked doors of rooms they control. Creepy. I like the flavor. Absolute flavor win over there. Does this even do anything? It's like almost like a switcheroo card. Okay, whatever door is, and like a lot of everyone's got the effect of those doors. Even if you lock it, who cares? You're almost helping players unlock the other door. Oh no, rooms. Yeah, that's so, I don't know, 6 months ago. I already forgot that rooms exist. It's not the worst mechanic. It's sort of an awkward mechanic though. Sort of like how Pegman did it. Definitely a flavor win. Oh, you're right. You're right, Zach. That is definitely a flavor win. Nice call. Rooms with a Z. Should give it haunt for good measure. Yeah, sure. Well, why not? Bingo, that's also so specific. For the rooms? Okay, yeah, sure. That'll I guess that works too. Yeah, that's also incredibly specific. Not often do they make cards to have any manipulation for rooms whatsoever. It should be, you know what? It should also do something like, for everyone that doesn't have a door, they get like a ghost token or something, as if something escaped. It got released. Anyway, okay. Anyway, this card's fine. Cool card. Okay, we do have a super chat we can go check out. We can check out Little MX Doom's super chat. The Continuum times end. Continuum. All right, cool. This is again, they're like a little oversized. Do I gotta shrink this thing a little bit? I don't even know how to do that. Okay, hold on. All the cards are like a little big now, if anyone's noticed on stream. Okay, hopefully it's like within the right size now. Okay, this is a 5-mana 3/3 avatar, cumulative upkeep, place end counter. That don't grammar right in my opinion. On another non-land permanent that doesn't have an end counter on it. Permanents with end counters on them have cumulative upkeep 1. Okay, so I get what you're trying to do. So they get cumulative upkeep, right? I think that's just should be the thing. Cumulative upkeep, place a cumulative what is the counter for cumulative upkeep? Is it an end? Should be N, not N. Oh yeah, 100%. Which is also on our bingo sheets. It don't grammar. Where is it? It didn't grammar. Learn grammar. That sounds so rude. Learn grammar. We should probably have it don't not grammar. Pretty sure it's a time counter. Yeah, I think it's a time counter that goes on cards for cumulative upkeep. So it should just be cumulative upkeep, place a time counter on another non-land permanent that doesn't have a time counter on it, and permanents with time counters on them have cumulative upkeep 1. Like, and also it should just say if that permanent doesn't have cumulative upkeep, it gains cumulative upkeep 1, and I think that would be perfectly good. So I mean, I get the idea. Execution is awkward, but I think this is totally fine. You basically unleash the most frustrating mechanic, one of the most frustrating mechanics in Magic the Gathering on your opponents. You give them cumulative upkeep. Barely any. I think, what is the most famous cumulative upkeep card? It must be Mystic Remora, and that's it. I don't think there's another good cumulative upkeep card. Like, you can build around some of them, but for the most part, they're not very versatile. That would mess up vanishing cards. No, it would add to them, Brian. It would add to them. That's called That's called synergy. That's what happens to Magic cards over the years. Yeah, the Braids of Fire. So, like, if you can build around that one, it would work. The most frustrating mechanic gives some random spell would be Epic. To give some random spell to somebody? Oh, to give somebody oh my god. If the opponent doesn't have Epic, they now have Epic. And the Epic card that they get to play every turn is the last one. Their next card they play has Epic. Something like that. That'd be an absolute death sentence. Almost took you seriously for a second, Jess. No, Smokestack is kind of cumulative upkeep, but bad. Yeah, basically. Something like that. Okay, good idea, bad execution. That's where I stand on this card. Back to the freebie section. The Fridge from Below. A 3-mana artifact. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, if this card is in your graveyard, create a food token. Whenever a food is put into an opponent's graveyard from the battlefield, if exile this card. They made Bridge from Below, but for food. And it's the Fridge from Below. And it stores the food. Does that make any sense? So if a food goes to a graveyard, what, we sacrifice our fridge? Did it, like, run out of its warranty? If it has no food, it has no purpose. And if it has no purpose, it must go to the bin. Yeah, that's funny. Whenever a creature goes to the graveyard, I guess we store it in the form of food. This card wins the stream! Deep Invader, check the description. I got long description. I've got a very detailed description how to donate for cards. This card bad? It's not that bad. Does it need to be in play? When a creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, if this card, yeah, it has to be in your graveyard. Look, you might want to be a food deck. Actually, in some ways, if you can abuse food, I mean, this card's busted. Because at least from Bridge from the Below, there's a lot of every deck plays creatures, so you can negate the effect of Bridge from Below by killing your own creature. How many decks play food? Like, very few. Like, I don't play with random food cards in my deck. So basically, this thing gets to go ham no matter what. Now, you do have to pay you do have to pay the 2 mana to crack the foods, but still, that's not nothing. And maybe they want the random artifacts on the battlefield. They're going to punish you with those artifacts. They can turn into an artifact army. They just have to animate them. So yeah, something you draw. This makes your opponent sack the food that they don't get, huh? Put in a graveyard. Whenever a food is put into an opponent's graveyard from the battlefield. Wait, but it's not going to happen. They're not going to get a food. The fact that food is an artifact boggles my mind. Yeah, it makes sort of no sense. The 8 of 1 artifact win con seems good with this. Blue is a bad color for this. So what would be a good color for a fridge? Who would make that? I don't think, like, upon at first glance, it would seem like, yeah, maybe this should be for green. But green's not going to have a fridge. They're like nature. They, like, store their food underground. So it's got to be white or blue, Yeah, maybe white. I mean, they invent stuff. Probably. But who's the real engineers here? Look, blue is the one with the brains. And the ones with the brains are the engineers. And the ones with the engineers can make a fridge. Therefore, I think it actually makes a lot of sense that blue can have Fridge from Below. Okay, next up. The classic blunder! 3 mana, sorcery. Each player gets 5 poison counters. If any player is already poisoned, they get no poison counters instead. Okay, so you get... What the hell? I don't get why this is it. If white is engineer, then what is blue? Are they morons or something? Okay, 3 mana for a sorcery. Each player gets 5 poison counters. Where'd the blunder happen? If any player is already poisoned, they get no poison counters. But Can some, like, I'm familiar with the movie. I'm familiar, like, the idea at the very least is you fell victim. Yeah, you fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but the only slightly less well known is this: never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line. In this scene, all the drinks are poisoned. Oh! Interesting. I forgot about that. I should see this movie again. It's very interesting. The Princess Bride. That's correct. Never bet your life in a game of chance, Wiss. Well, with this guy, I suppose. Never drink anything. Make them drink it first. Okay, is the card broke? The card's actually probably broken. I'm not gonna lie. 5 mana. It's basically 5 mana. Cut your opponent's life total in half. That's exactly what it's doing. So, I think it's broken. And with Infect. And on top of that, well, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Because it has to be the first card played. There has to be, like, no poison counters on the person. If there's, like, 1 poison counter, then actually it doesn't work so well. Go turn 1 Infector. Turn 2, maybe put a support card on it. Turn 3, play this attack. They actually did it. Princess Bride Secret Lair. Wow, missed opportunity for this. Did you know that Zorro is public domain? Anyone can make a movie about that guy? I guess they can go for it. Anyone in any? Is there any demand for Zorro in 2025? Turn 2, tutor this Kappa. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose so. Okay, maybe this is harder to play because if it's not exactly everyone gets 5 poison counters. It's everyone gets 5 poison counters if they have no poison. So maybe it's fair. I'm a little inclined to believe that it is a little slightly broke. A little slightly broken. It's a lot of poison. I'm going to get poisoned. I'm going to need the antidote. Okay, next up, we got Field Promotion, a 3-mana enchantment. When this enters the battlefield, exile target commander you control and own. If a commander was exiled this way, choose target creature you control for as long as this enchantment remains on the battlefield. That creature is your commander. We just switched the command! They're not the real commander. That's interesting, though. If this enchantment leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the command zone. It becomes your commander again. So I guess if they can, what if? Okay, get this. So hold on. Here's the question I would have to commander players. Let's say this card exists. We play it. We exile our commander. Then the next creature is our commander. That creature dies, goes to the command zone. Then someone destroys Field Promotion. That thing's gone. Our commander goes back to the command zone. Do we have 2 commanders at this point? Do we just cheat out 2 commanders? Well, I guess we do. The way it's worded, it's like, if this enchantment leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the command zone. It becomes your commander. So that one, like, so you have 2 commanders. It's like, no, maybe. It's possible. Yeah, we are discussing the rules today. Where's the discussing the rules part? We love the rules! Discussing the rules right there. Yes, you cheat out 2 commanders. It sounds like... So it's not... Well, I don't know. How does everyone feel about that? And if you blink this enchantment, it would continuously create more commanders amongst the table. It stays in the command zone but can't cast? It didn't. Okay, so here's the deal. This card specifically didn't say the old card is no longer the commander. It became a commander sorry. For as long as this enchantment remains on the battlefield, that creature is your commander. Okay. So actually, it specified it. Okay. So basically, it's just exiled. So yeah, it stays in the command zone but can't be cast. That makes sense. They actually they had a safety valve around this the entire way. You guys ever play Price of Persia: Sands of Time? I have no idea what that is. You would not have a second commander simply because of the fact that it no longer counts. You cannot cast a card from the non-command. You cannot cast a card from a non-commander from the command zone. Our creature stuck in the command zone. Sorry, you can't leave. You're no longer a commander. That's like promoting someone from officer and they just can't leave the office because the real officer came back from the dead or something like that. Okay, cool card. It's cool. Okay, next up, we've got Magostera. Hey there. I hope it's all right these bleak days. My card for today is Tezcatlipoca's Contempt. All right. Let's take a look at it. I love your card so far because the font is big. Big font already on my good side. We got 3-mana instant. It's a Rakdos card. You can only cast this spell during your end step. That's highly specific. Destroy all creatures that did not attack or block this turn. That'll learn them. Hold on, is it all of them? Destroy all creatures that did not attack or block this turn? Doesn't that mean just destroy all the creatures? Or, oh, you choose. Okay, shouldn't we word this different? Okay, I think I know the idea here. I think the idea is you destroy all creatures that did not attack and destroy... Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay. No. It does work. Destroy all creatures that they didn't attack or they didn't block. So they had to be aggressive. So attackers, they're safe. Blockers, they're safe. But the ones that didn't block, the ones that didn't attack, they're the ones that are getting screwed. This is actually very original. It's not really a one-sided board wipe. I mean, you could, both sides can get eaten up. Certainly, if you have the knowledge, like this is a very interesting card if you go all out on an attack, and then all of a sudden the opponent is like, oh my god, I think I gotta block with everything or I'm gonna lose everything. Opinions on the SpongeBob Secret Lair? I don't really care because I've never seen SpongeBob before. Saw 2 episodes. And also, they seem to be just not mechanically unique cards, which is good for us. If you somehow know a card in your own hand... if you say... if we somehow know this one... Okay, Magostera says... Tezcatlipoca is a god... Sorry, is a war god of the Aztec. He hates those who doesn't fight. Oh, you must fight! Pledge your allegiance, and if you don't, well, you're gonna meet your demise. Okay, this is a really cool idea. Well, it doesn't. No, it says an end step, not your end step. You can only cast this spell during the end step, so it can be somebody else's end step. So hold on. Whoa. Okay, does that mean this hold on, does this destroy all the creatures that never even had a chance to block? Let's say player A attacks player B, but then player C's creatures never had the opportunity to block. This card destroys everything of player C. I want, like, that is highly, horribly unfortunate. I mean, you could also even attack player A, player B and C just lose their board for no reason. That's a 3-mana board wipe if nobody attacks. It's also a 3-mana board... I mean, they can attack, and it could be a 3-mana board wipe for other people, too. This much too cheap. You know what's really interesting? So maybe it should be more expensive. When this get banned in Commander? Maybe. I didn't think of Commander when making this card. No! The format where 95% of players play, and almost all cards are designed and considered for, was the format we didn't think about for this. How can we adjust this? It's a very interesting concept. Destroy all creatures that did not attack or block this turn. How about this? Destroy all creatures that had the chance to attack and didn't, and all creatures that had a chance to block and didn't. How about that? It's clunky. It's a little clunky. Someone else probably can clean that up, but I think that works. So basically, anyone who had an opportunity to attack, if they didn't, they're losing their creatures. And if anyone who had an opportunity to block, if they didn't block, they lose all their creatures. So people who never heard of the or like a gang block, everyone would gang block from here on out. Nobody, if this card exists, nobody will ever like just chump block stuff anymore. It's like, okay, I have to go in with all my creatures because they might play the contempt card on me and I get completely screwed. I think you could get rid of the block clause and only counter the active player's creatures. Maybe. Maybe that's possible. Okay, I like it. I like the idea. Great discussion. Okay, we're gonna look at more cards, of course. But we gotta thank our sponsor today, FusionGamingOnline.com. And what I love about FusionGamingOnline.com is they've got a deal of the week every week, and this time it's 20% off sealed product, 15% off singles. I tried to go look for some Mindspring Merfolks. They're out. Everyone got the mind. They probably got the deal already. They got the deal ahead of me. I gotta wait for them to get back in stock, but they're gonna be in stock eventually. What else can you get from FusionGamingOnline.com? Well, Ether Drift in general, Tarkir, Dragonstorm. You can pre-order your boxes. And by the way, when you pre-order your boxes, I got an idea for you. You can get 5% off and use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Saves you some money, and also it supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. You love being creative with your cards. Why don't you be creative with your deck lists? Rent cards on Magic Online, the digital platform, and you can play as many decks as you want. Be as creative as you want. Play Commander for one-on-one Commander. You can play Standard, Pioneer, Modern. Play all the formats when you rent with Mana Traders. You can support the channel when you use my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 40% cashback on your third month subscription using coupon code Nikachu_BKS. And we go back to Reddit cards. But now it's time for our glorious super chats. Okay, we're gonna start off with Brian Freet. Thank you very much. The Cassandra Chronicles. The Cassandra. Please read the post in Discord. It has stuff. Why are you making me read? Okay. This says, the Cassandra Chronicles, based on a horrible villain from one of my D&D campaigns who gained the monster abilities of things she absorbed. Once again, Nikachu, select a color combination from 1 to 3 colors for me to make a character series of this week. And reminder for the rules text of Ingest. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of their library. Okay, I want it to be, next time I want it to be black, and it has to be really heavy on pips. It's like at least 3 black pips per card. At least, if not more. Cassandra the Flesh Pact. Okay, so last time I asked for colorless and blue, and this is what we're getting today. So this is double colorless, double blue, and 2 generic for a 5/5 elf. Of all the things that come out of colorless and blue, we have elves. It's got Devoid. I guess it's secretly an Eldrazi. It's an imposter. When Cassandra enters or attacks, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a creature card. Cassandra has all abilities of creatures exiled this way that aren't mana abilities. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Creatures you control have Ingest. I don't remember what Ingest has something to do with, like, the graveyard and exile or some crap like that. What is an Ingest mechanic? MTG. It's a keyword ability that triggers when a creature with Ingest deals combat damage to a player. That player exiles the top card of their library. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Why is it a horror? There's nothing horrific about her. Do you know what's horrific? The fact that it gets on the bingo card. Because we have 5 words in the card type. That's what's horrific about it. There's a really cool thing to add to any card named Cassandra, which isn't this card. Maybe it's a bad ability. It's an ability. What do you want? Oh, you're talking about Ingest? Yeah, I forgot. Ingest, it didn't really catch on now, did it? Sort of aged like sour milk. Trent Sim says, I really think Ingest should have been a numbered mechanic, like Ingest 2, hit 2 cards, and so forth. Ingest just doesn't do enough. Well, that's what it's doing here. I think the big thing is when it enters the battlefield or attacks, we're going to absorb abilities of creatures that aren't mana abilities. Assimilate Knowledge. Ew, this picture is disgusting. It's a 4-mana enchantment with Devoid. Also has cumulative upkeep. Put a card that an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. That is so weird. This is never going to last that long. Draw an additional card during each of your draw steps. You have no maximum hand size. I think you can make this just like 2 mana or something, like blue and a colorless. Like just a Howling Mine. This is like a pretty garb Howling Mine. And on top of that, it's like, I don't think it's going to last for very long. The upkeep is going to kill you. I mean, I guess it's 2 mana. You'd still draw in a card, draw an additional card during... No, you would never get there. So you can't even play this turn 2 unless there's already a serious number of cards in someone's exile zone. Well, what happens with this and Rest in Peace? Like, wait, can I get anything into the graveyard? I'm not sure. This card will go away very quickly, and this could really help the opponent out. Is it possible? Put a card that an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. What cards in exile? Step 1, you need to get cards in exile. Step 2, you need to get them from exile into their graveyard with this card. I think it's hard. I think it's really, really... anyway, I'm going to say it's fair. I think it's really hard, difficult to pull off. It's been so balanced, it's balanced out of the game. Delve. They need... Oh, wait. Let me look. Put a card that an opponent owns from exile. Like, they need to help you. That's the problem. Like, the opponent sort of needs to get stuff in exile. They need to be the ones using Delve. They need to use this and that. Like, it's just not something you can easily force. Okay, now we have Become of Madness. A 4-mana sorcery with the Void. As an additional cost to cast this spell, put a card an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. As an additional cost to cast this spell, put a card an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. Gain control of target creature for as long as you control it. It gains ingest. Again, I think this could cost less. I think that this additional cost to cast this spell is very difficult. You could probably make it 3 mana. Like, 4 mana is just mind control. We already have that for 4 mana. So if we're going to have this additional loop, plus this is technically a 2-color card. Like, I know it's colorless, but still, you do need to have the colorless available in order to cast this. I think it could be a 3-mana card. Maybe like double colorless and a blue, or double blue and a colorless. Ingested danger! Ingest has something to do with Eldrazi's. Eldrazi at danger! Ban it! Nikachu, mind control doesn't add ingest to the creature. That's true! I said, oh no, ingest is gonna break. It's gonna break the game. I don't think so. What do we have on the bingo square? Nikachu whoosh moment. It's probably we are probably due to make a new bingo square. Okay, let's move on to David Mosley. Trouble commanders for under supported creature types, part 1. This is a great idea, David. Or as they say these days, kindred. I like the kindred. I don't like typo though. That was awful. Okay, we got Maw-Fang, Apex Masticore. You're bringing the Manticores back. Oops. Okay, I have to look through all 5 of these. I accidentally clicked off your super chat. That's fine. Okay, Maw-Fang, Apex Manticore, a 5-mana 4/4 Manticore. First strike, trample, haste, protection from instants. Did any of them before have protection? Other Masticores. Sorry, other. See, now you're other Masticores. Are you trying to buff up the Manticores or the Masticores? I don't know now. You control have trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card. Whenever you discard a card, deal 2 damage to any target, and Masticores you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. This is nuts! Pay 0, exile a card from your graveyard. If it was an artifact or creature card, create a 3/3 colorless Masticore creature token with this creature has 2 regenerate. This is getting insane. I don't think this is a new creature type. I think might be a creature type typo. Maybe it's supposed to be Masticore. Is NNS close? They're not actually. What was Masticore? I think Masticore was a Manticore. I think that's the correct type. Let me quickly look this up. Oh, it's a Masticore, actually. Masticore is a Masticore. Yeah, creature type is Masticore. Okay, so this Manticore was just a mistake. Yu-Gi-Oh card, I agree. It's got too much. You're right, you buffed it up. Buffed it up to dangerous proportions. Actually, they are both real creature types. Okay. I imagine Mastercore is supposed to be the creature type, unless that was somehow done on purpose. How do I balance this? First strike, trample. Hey, I mean, literally has everything. This is what's it called? Beast, not beast. Is not beast within. Not beast within. The beast card, the double green, double colorless card, but more dangerous. All other Mastercores have trample. The only thing is you have to discard a card, and that's supposed to be a downside. But here it's an upside because you can give you buff up your creatures +2/+0. Your questing beast. That's what I was thinking of. Questing. Thanks so much. You're saving me. Absolutely saving me. Maybe get rid of that part of it, because otherwise I think this is getting a little too far. I might be wrong. You know, the game is getting so power crapped. I don't even know what a fair magic card is anymore. Okay, Abyssal, Shellord, the Eternal Nautilus. This is a 7-mana 6/7. You see, this is a bad sign. When you cram so many abilities that it like runs off into the text box, that's not a good sign. Less, like I've said so many times, less is more. Vigilance, Ward 4, Island Walk. What is this? It's a Nautilus horror? Is that like a giant snail or something? Other Nautilus creatures you control get +4/+1 and has whenever this creature becomes blocked, you may draw a card. That's fine. Whenever Abyssal Shellord deals combat damage to a player, you may exile target creature that player controls until Abyssal Shellord leaves the battlefield. That's also sort of fine. It's absorbing. It absorbs the creatures. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent has 5 or more exiled cards, create a 4/4 blue Nautilus horror creature token with Ward 2, Vigilance, and Island Walk. Okay, actually, I think this works. Probably one of these abilities should be less because of just, you know, we're running out of space over here. But I actually think you rightfully have to work for your food in this card. You have to attack. Your opponent has to have no blockers. You start I don't know why they wouldn't block, because they're going to lose their creature anyway. Nautilus are a large shelled cephalopod. You know, the damn draws, you're just opening more. You're opening the door to more questions than answers. Manticores are already a thing in this game. It gets Spreading Sea. Well, oh yeah, Spreading Seas plus this. It's get that Island Walk. Not to mention, it's like 7 mana. So I actually think this card works out perfectly fine. I actually thought this was all going to be like Masticores, but in the end, I guess we're going to look at a little something for every creature type. Nibrix, Trickster of the Twin Rivers, a 4-mana 3/3. All right, this is definitely Yu-Gi-Oh territory. This is too many words, too much text. You know you're in custom Magic the Gathering land when we got these cards. This is when I want, like, I need to make 2 different scenes. Yeah, there we go. Nibrix. Noggle creatures you control. There's a Noggle creature type in this game. The more you know. Creatures you control have prowess, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. Whenever you discard a card, create a tapped 1/1 blue and red Noggle rogue creature token. So this is like Monastery Mentor. At the beginning of the end step, if you drew 2 or more cards this turn, create a treasure token. Pay 2, tap, target Noggle you control gains unblockable until end of turn. Well, at least I have to pay mana for that. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may return another target land you control to its owner's hand if you do draw a card. That last ability is completely unnecessary. Like that last ability had nothing to do with Noggles. It was just like on there for the sake of being on there. Remove that last text box, and I still think this is a lot, but it would be fine. Next up, we've got Brumbaloo, Grand River Guardian. I like the mana cost. It's Redless Wooburg, +2 generic for a 5/5 Hippo Avatar with Trample and Vigilance. The other hippos you control get +1/+1 and have Trample and Hexproof. Why do they have Hexproof? Look at the Hippo army over here. This is the Grandmaster Hippo. It's funny that there's 4 Noggles in this game. I don't even know what a Noggle is. Okay, and whenever a hippo enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 2 life and draw a card. That seems fair, actually. And then for 3 mana, tap, create a 3/3 blue hippo creature token with this creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And for 3 mana, it's just an activated ability. Hippos you control gain indestructible until end of turn. That was highly unnecessary at the end. Highly, highly, highly unnecessary. Basically, like, the last ability is breaking all these cards. It's like, well, we've went this far. Let's put another busted thing on it. I think, again, this is another spot where I think this card is just cleaner if you just don't have that last ability. Also, that feels very unfun to play against. It should be more of like, if you have X number of hippos in play, maybe they're indestructible. Especially since this deck can make hippos. This is the most fair, I think, of all the cards. Maybe not the most fair, but because I think this card was definitely the most fair. I don't mind the design, is what I'm getting at. I don't mind the design at all. And we got Erithos, Tidebinder of the Deep. It is a 4-mana 3/5 jellyfish wizard. Other jellyfish you control have hexproof, and whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card. Whenever a jellyfish enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Then you may tap or untap target permanent. Whenever you untap a jellyfish outside of your untap step... What? Oh, I see. Okay. Tap target permanent an opponent controls. And then for 2 mana, tap, create a 1/1 blue jellyfish creature token with flying, and whenever this creature becomes tapped, you gain 1 life. Something I just realized in like all of these cards is you're trying to make these cards a one-person army that can make its own army, because I think you recognize there's just not enough of those cards in existence. But anyway, I actually like the design of this card for the most part. You also have this really unique idea of untapping these whenever the creatures become untapped. You can like fiddle around with your opponent, but not during your untap step. Noggles are some kind of donkey humanoids. Is that what we see here? It's more like a goat. The Noggle Rogue Wizard. Okay. Thank you so much for your super chats. Okay, next up. We're going to go to Trent Sims. Time for trouble. Time for trouble! And make it double. What's the best one for this? More Pokemon today. I need to learn my Pokemon. Lugia and Ho-Oh. Okay, let's check this one out. I need to really learn Pokemon. I want to do a hybrid of Pokemon TCG and Magic the Gathering for an upcoming video I want to do. Okay, Lugia and Ho-Oh. I'm familiar with Lugia because there was a movie based on this fellow. But I'm not familiar with Ho-Oh. 6 mana for a 5/6 Pokemon bird. Flying, Vigilance, and Haste. Whenever this creature attacks, add 3 mana in any combination of colors. That's really unique because you can only use the mana during the attack step. You can't even wait for the blocker step. So you attack, and then you have to spend it. You can't even pass priority. So I really like that idea. Guys, Ash was in a coma the whole time. No, he wasn't. What are you talking about? Okay, we have Sky Attack. 2 mana tap. Tap target non-land permanent and put a stun counter on it. And Sacred Fire for 4 mana tap. This creature deals 3 damage to any target. You gain 3 life. So you basically got yourself a bit of a lightning helix action. I like it. Cool card. See, perfectly balanced. It's actually interesting. So because of the haste, you basically get a discount on your 6 mana that you spent on this card to... Oh, you could use it for Sky Attack, actually. No, you can't. No, you can. Oh, wait a minute. So you can attack with this card. So these abilities are basically free? No, not exactly, because you can only spend 1 mana. I didn't really realize that. Because of the Vigilance, this card is like way stronger than it looks. So on the first attack, you can't play either of these abilities. Oh no, but it's in any combination of colors. So you attack... I think you have to get rid of the Vigilance, to be honest. in the Pokédex says that those who look at Ho-Oh become immortal. That's great. And it was the first Pokemon Ash sees other than Pikachu. So people say that's how Ash stays young. Did Ash see Oh-Ho? Ash sees other than Pikachu is the first Pokemon. They put that in the lore. I don't remember that in the first few episodes of Pokemon. I didn't see that. Okay, this card might be a problem because you constantly get the stupid Sacred Fire and Sky attack for basically free. It's basically 0 mana you get these abilities because that's what you're doing. I think you have to get rid of the Vigilance, and then these abilities actually have like they've got like a real but then if you attack, you don't get to use these abilities. It's at the very end of the first episode. Is it? Showed up Ho-Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna look into that. I call BS. I thought he saw Mewtwo or something. Maybe that was a different episode, or Mew. So they saw this way ahead of time when they made the Pokemon TV series. There's something wrong with this card. I don't know what it is. There's literally something wrong with this Vigilance and having the free mana and these abilities. Maybe you just have to get rid of the free mana because there's just something weird about this. I feel like it's going to get broken. Pokédex. I don't have enough Pokemon sound effects here. 2 mana for an artifact. Whenever a non-human creature dies, put a catch counter on this artifact. Tap, remove 3 catch counters from this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color. Tap, remove 6 catch counters from this artifact. Draw a card. Honestly, I think it's a perfectly fine card. Oh, there's more things. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 151 or more catch counters on this artifact, sacrifice it and you win the game. That's fine. You missed a bingo for innovative card effect. Do I have something for that thing? Danger. Oh, new intuitive mechanic? Maybe? Is that what I missed? Mewtwo wasn't in the episode where Gary fought Giovanni? Oh, okay. Okay, here's my problem with this card. The Pokédex... Oh, no, maybe this is fine. I was thinking of Pokéballs. No, Pokédex. I'm thinking, like, if you have... I want to say this thing could capture other people's creatures, but that doesn't make any sense at all. All right. I'm just going to say it passes and move on. I'm going to move along. We got Jesse and James! Prepare for trouble and make it double. For 3... Abzan? Is that... You really think that this is Abzan colors? For X. 3/4 human rogue, menace lifelink, double trouble. When this creature enters, you lose X life and put a +1/+1 counter on up to X target non-human creatures you control. Blasting off again when this creature dies. Okay, this actually makes sense. Team Rocket is blasting off again. You may pay 3 life. If you do, exile it. You may cast it for as long as it remains exiled. Okay, that actually makes sense. Okay, we got... That was definitely that was a huge flavor win. Love that one at the end. Yeah, Pokédex is a Pokemon index, basically. Grixis, damn it, that's what they are. Maybe. From the Jellyfish Wizard. Oh, yes, the intuitive mechanic. Correct. I don't know if I called it an intuitive mechanic. I thought it was a very good mechanic. I did compliment it, though. What else do I have to say about this? Do they actually gain life? Okay, I think this was a flavor win at the end. I shouldn't... Definitely, it's a playable card. Not broken. Not broken at all. Okay, we're going to look at the last 2, and there's some juicy ones. I see Mew and Mewtwo down there, but we're going to give Winter Fox a little bit of love here. 2 Fireball variants. 2 Fireball variants. Why are you paying for like another card? Isn't this enough? You're in like the orange or the red. Oh no! Oh, I see. Yeah, because you're paying in Canadian dollars. You're a fellow Canadian, fellow Canuck. Okay, Lands Rats Fireball. This is a 2 mana X sorcery. We're looking at your cards, right? Deal X damage to all non-green creatures and planeswalkers, where X is half the amount of red and or green mana paid for X rounded up. Why did you have to word it like this? This is worse than the that isn't non-double negative card. How does this work? Okay, it deals X damage to, well, let's say I pay 6 green. 6 green. Deal X damage to all non-green creatures and planeswalkers, where X is half the amount of red and or green mana paid for X rounded up. So if I pay 6 green, it deals 3 damage. Isn't that just horrible? Bingo, nobody knows what this card does. It's cruel but fair. Jess, he gets so much knowledge, it pushes out other information, causing confusion how cards work in matches. R green equals 1 damage. Oh, I see. Okay, there we go. That actually... Wow, look at that. In just, like, 2 words, we understand the whole thing. But you have to spend 2... You can only spend red and green, and you only get half the damage. Well, actually, it's rounded up, right? So... you're best off paying 7. Paying 7, get 4. At minimum, it deals 1 damage because you're already paying red and a green. Oh! Where X is half the amount of red or green paid. No, it's got to be paid for X. So if you pay just red and green and X is 0, you get nothing. You get nothing! Good day, sir. But if you pay a single red, then you'll deal the damage. If you pay red and a green, you're a fool. Yeah, it only counts the X cost. It's such a weird card. I mean, it's doable. It's a doable card. I feel like we're getting ripped off, though. Supremely ripped off. Okay, next we got Sunburst Fireball. It sounds like someone got inspired by Channel Fireball today. It's a red-white X. Sorcery. Deal X damage to all creatures and planeswalkers target player controls, where X is half the amount of white and... paid for X rounded... Oh, rounded down this time. So... So I can't pay 1 now. Now if I pay 1... No, that's fine. Actually, I can pay 1. Deal X... No, but it has to be half, where X is half the amount of white. So if I pay 1, it's a half of 1. It's rounded down to 0. I get screwed. Bingo on X! Is there too much X? Too much X. Way too much X. This one deals damage to all target players' creatures. So what? Why does it need to be half? Deals X down. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Would it be crazy just to make like red white X and just do an earthquake that's like a lightning helix? But I guess the problem is it doesn't hit your stuff. How about like red white and then plague wins 1 person and just make it X. This whole make it half the mana thing seems completely unnecessary. Waifu card, honestly, not anime enough for me. Not too real. Way too real here. These are all overrated, I think. They should really include the whole cost. What do you mean? Are you saying they're too expensive? Yeah, I think... oh, yeah, you could do... Oh, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. But Winter Fox wants you to pay with red-white mana. And I guess we have no other way to explain that. We're making it complicated for the sake of making it complicated. All right, that definitely passes. Next up, we got Orb. Okay, screw all those cards. We're going Yu-Gi-Oh! Direction. We've got the Orb of the Artificial Sea. We got quadruple colors and quadruple snow, which also hits our bingo card. So we have 4 of a single color mana. Wait a minute. Technically, these aren't any colors. Whatever, we'll count it. Within the spirit of the bingo card. There are literally no colors here. Legendary artifact, Eldrazi Manufacturing Plant. It's a tree, though. Okay, we have a colorless snow tap. Sacrifice orbs of the Artificial World Ender. Then search your library for a legendary artifact, create Eldrazi creature, and exile it. Create 4 1/1 snow colorless artifact. Artificial protein creature tokens named Orb of the official realm water with fabricate 4 and haste. What? What? And not only that, like this basically just costs 5 mana because I think the snow is the hardest part of casting this card. Exile Orb of the Artificial Sea from your graveyard and pay half of your life total. Shuffle target snow and or colorless creature from your graveyard back into your library. Then return target non-snow and or non-colorless creature from the battlefield to its owner's hand. It's a very funny bounce spell that you got going on over here. So you do have to sacrifice this. So what is this? 10 mana, and you get, maybe this is actually fair. So effectively, you're getting 10 mana, and you get 4 1/1s that can have like a bunch of +1/+1 counters on them because of the Fabricate 4. It's got a lot of words on it, but at the end of the day, honestly, I think B1 says this is insanely convoluted. I actually think this is one of the more clear cards I've read today. You messed up the self-name reference in the first ability. Sacrifice Orbis of the Artificial World Ender, then search your library for a legendary artificial Eldrazi creature and exile it. Create 4... I don't understand what you're talking about. Create 4 1/1 snow colorless artificial protein creature tokens named Orb of the Artificial Realm Water. They need a name. They all need names. Oh, we just made another one, so it named itself. Tokens named Orb with Fabricate 4 and haste. So hold on, did we just recreate the same card again? I think it's just, it didn't say so because it didn't give those abilities. The name of the card is different from the name it states in the ability. I suppose so. Okay, that is, believe it or not, I give that a pass. It's like a lot of words on it. Oh no, okay. We're gonna look at your last 2 later, Winter Fox, but we're gonna move on to Z-Man Vader with Ojama Cards Part 1 from Z-Man. This is my first dono. Congratulations! 3 of the cards are vanilla and are just there for reference and a completion. Well, then you didn't have to donate so much. Like, if you have the vanilla cards, I can look past that. Ojama Cards Part 1. Oh, I see. Okay, so there are 5 real cards here, but the first few are just nothings. It's got a very Yu-Gi-Oh-esque looking vibe to it, the art. Okay, first card. The Ojama Country. What the hell is the Ojamas? These are actual Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I actually played these guys in Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm only familiar with Tunes from Pegasus. Okay, this is a 3-mana Ojama. If you control an Ojama creature, switch the power and toughness of all creatures on the battlefield. You can discard 1 card and target 1 Ojama creature in your graveyard. If you do, return target creature to the battlefield. Give me target 1. Oh, so you can return the Ojama. Activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn. Shouldn't this be worded like discard a card, return an Ojama from the creature to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn? I think that's just a cleaner way of saying it. This is like, it's a little too wordy. It's worded like maybe like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but we're playing Magic the Gathering here. Okay, cool. That is super fair. Especially since if these are all the Ojamas, well, they're not broken or anything like that. And so what's interesting about this card, you kill all the walls. All the 0-power walls. If you control an Ojama, oh, everyone get the switcheroo. Okay, Ojama Delta Hurricane. This is a 4-mana Kindred Sorcery Ojama. Destroy all creatures your opponents control. If you control at least 3 Ojama creatures with different mana costs, you can play this card without paying its mana cost. Destroy all creatures your opponent. Basically, it's a complete payoff if you're going to be playing the Ojama archetype. If you're going to be playing with, it's basically the kobolds. Right? These are just the kobolds of Care Keeps and stuff like that. It's just these crappy vanilla nonsense cards, but backed up by Plague Winds. Plague Wind you and your family and your family's family. We're going generations deep down here. Hurricane is a bit too strong at a base level, but you need to have at least 3 Ojamas. You literally need 3 of these garbage creatures in play. There's no way that this is not fair. Like, the card does nothing unless you have 3. By the way, you can interact with this card, so you can cast it with 3 creatures, and if your opponent kills one of them, well, when it resolves, oh, hold on. Hold on. Destroy all creatures your opponents control. If you control at least 3 creatures with different mana costs, you can play this card. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I actually interpreted. Sorry, I interpreted this card wrong. I thought it's like you destroy everything if you but you need 3 of these Ojama creatures. So it's just destroy all creatures your opponents control. Okay, so this probably it's actually probably broken. Yeah, you can play it for free if you have 3. This probably needs to be more expensive. You gotta like make it, I don't know, at least 2 more mana. At least 2, maybe 3 more mana. There is like a maybe no. There's like a Dust Rune card. It's like destroy everything else except for your 1 creature in play. Something like that for 7 mana in Abzan. So this probably needs like an additional 3 more mana to make it fair. It does danger though, so bingo. Okay, we get another bingo. It danger. Or I guess it deserves this. It do danger. One-sided board wipe for 4 mana. This would see play everywhere, every format. It would be like a defining card in Magic the Gathering in competitive play. New creature type for bingo. Well, we're just hitting everything. And with that, we do have a bingo. Which means we're gonna give a freebie away at the end of the show. There shall be freebie. Okay, next up. Oh, by the way, before I go, disqualify this damn thing. We got Ojama King. It's a 4 mana 1/8. Ojama Goblin Beast with Convoke. When Ojama King enters the battlefield, you may tap up to 3 creatures opponents control. If you do, those creatures tapped by Ojama King don't untap during the controller's untap step for as long as you control Ojama King. You may tap additional creatures up to the number of Ojama creatures tapped to pay the mana cost of this card. So it just has Convoke. You may tap additional creatures up to the number of Ojama. Oh, I see. So if you use Ojamas to Convoke, oh my god, this looks brutal. This looks so brutal. But this card itself, so it's like almost like a weird pseudo removal. I could actually get behind this. The idea when it enters, why is tap up to 3 creatures? If you do, those creatures tap, they don't untap for as long as you have it. So it's a 3 for 1, but it's a 1/8 creature. Also too cheap. It's a 1/8. Like, it's a wall. And it can die to removal or get bounced or something. I want to say the effect is pretty strong. But I can't prove it yet because I've never played against this stupid thing. It's not like it's going to turn the corner. Oh, I'm going to get attacked by an Ojama King. Oh, you come get me for 1 damage. I can still play creatures after this. Put some pants on. It's like a superhero Toads. All superheroes are in their underwear. They're like wrestlers, basically. Seems like a blue effect, not Abzan. Could be true. But I really don't know where the Ojamas stand in the color pie. I'm going to allow this card. I'm going to allow it. So I see you have 2 more cards. We're going to take a look at them later. As we move on, we are going to give some love to Joel West. The Cycle of the Annex. Since 5 is the limit, please skip the first one. You're welcome. Yeah, there's a limit. Otherwise, I'm here all day. You people are lucky I'm here for once a week. Well, since you have 4 cards, I'll look at all 4 of them in one shot. One, didn't you like donate? Didn't you like donate 20? Let me check your super chat. You donated $20, so you only get 4 cards. It's $5 per card. Okay, I'll get through 4 cards. We got Anak. This is Anak Zipporah's friend. I'm probably not very good at pronouncing any of these cards. 5 mana for a 5/4 Nephilim hero. Human creatures you control have banding. Oh my, they've brought banding back. Banding has returned. There's 6 cards there. It's set to skip the first one. Yeah, but $20 divided by 5 equals 4 cards, right? So I will look at the first 4 cards in this group. Yeah, banding! Not to be mistaken with being banned. And okay, whenever a human creature you control would be destroyed, you may tap Anak Zipporah's friend. If you do, prevent that destruction and lose 3 life. This effect can only be used once per turn. Would be destroyed. Tap. If you do, prevent that. Okay, so we have something called regeneration, right? This effect can only be used once a turn. Or hold on. Oh, so you want to do it after they're destroyed. I don't know if this is going to work. This ability works so well within the game. Whenever a human creature you control would be destroyed, like it would trigger. We don't have damage on the stack anymore. You may tap Anak Zipporah's friend. If you do, prevent that destruction and lose. It doesn't die. It's regenerate, but it triggers only if something would die. But when you activate regenerate, you have to give it to a creature before it dies. No. Actually, hold on. There is absolutely no reason for it to be worded like this. Especially, so basically, if you can see that your creature is going to die, you can activate this ability. So I don't know if you know what regeneration is, but you can give a creature regenerate, and if it would be destroyed, it just doesn't get destroyed. So this should just be worded. Just tap Anak Zipporah's fiend, pay 3 life, regenerate target creature. This ability can only be used once a turn. That's it. That's just how it works. I just don't know $5. Madame draws can have. Okay, sure. Okay, Madame draws. I'm just confused by this, what you're talking about here. Okay, I'm going to move on. Oh, Joel West donate. My bad, the slider messed up. It was supposed to be 25. Okay, good. Okay, so I'll look at the first 3 cards here. So, okay, first things first. This should just have regenerate. 4 mana, tap. Gain control of target artifact, opponent, and gain control of target artifact, opponent, and opponent controls. No grammar. And with mana value X, where X is the number of humans you control. Shouldn't this just be worded gain control of target artifact and opponent controls with mana value X, where X is the number of humans you control? That can be fine. We gotta double check the wording on that one. So this card is okay. It needed to be cleaned up at the end. Okay, this is Anak Intercessor. This is a 6 mana 7/5. Creatures in control cannot be gained control of by other players. Like, I feel like I know what you want to do. I just don't know if it's worded like that. When Anak Incestor enters, gain control of all creatures not in their owner's control. Gain control of all creatures. So what you do is when it enters battlefield, gain control of all creatures you own but don't control. That's how you're supposed to word it. And then 4 mana until end of turn, all creatures able to block Anak Incestor must do so. Actually, this is all perfect. Basically, this card says, I'm taking my stuff back. And also, don't touch my stuff. Don't touch. I'm gonna get you. And you have to block my creatures after that. If all your subs would just get 10 people to sub, then those 10 people can get 10 people. Yeah, it's like sounds like a Ponzi scheme, Jess. You're describing a Ponzi scheme here. Anak Lawgiver. This is a 6-mana, 6/5 Nephilim Nomad. Ward. Exile 3 cards of different types from your graveyard. Exile 3 cards of different types from... Oh, so the opponent has to exile 3 cards. That sounds good. Vigilance. Whenever an opponent commits a crime, you may pay a red or a black. Deal 2 damage to any target. Really? That sounds very strong. So they target anything, they're going to get smacked for 2 damage. But you do have to keep the mana up. Whenever a crime is committed for the 3rd time each turn, draw a card and deal 3 damage to each opponent. That sounds very rude, but very easy to play around. Although, like, everyone's got to be really, really careful. Bingo for the custom bingo. Zach Magnus. Who are you, Zach Magnus? Are you for Ginka? Custom word cost. You got it. There's not that many people who are so on the ball with bingos around here. Very, very few people I could name by name. By the way, we had a bingo you skipped as manufacturing plant is a new non-creature type. Oh, good call. New non-creature type. And another bingo. Oh my god, we're going to nail everything today. 2 freebies by the end. I love that Anak itself would make you commit a crime with its damage ability. Oh my god! Oh, broken. So we can't do that. So we have to reword it. No, it is worded. Whenever an opponent commits a crime, whenever... it should probably be worded whenever the opponent commits a crime. Because we can't incentivize ourselves when we're making a crime, can we? Or maybe we can. Whenever a crime is committed for the 3rd time each turn, draw a card. But it's so easy to pull off. Someone commits 1 crime, you deal a crime back, and then basically nobody... Can't you? And you can do this multiple times. No. Whenever an opponent commits a crime for the 3rd time each turn, draw a card and deal 3 damage to each opponent. I think it has to be it has to work like that. Oh, for the last card, I think it would be worded, opponents can't gain control of permanents you own. Sounds beautiful. Okay, we're going to look at the last 2 a smidge later. We're going to move on to 4 Paths of Life. Always on another path of life. Into Cryosis, Part 1. New series. Cryosis? I found it. It's giving Winter Fox vibes. Okay. Frigid Landscape. Legendary Snowland. Snow permanents lose and can't gain any cumulative upkeep costs. Tap, add a blue. If you control 5 or more other snow lands with different names, add 1 mana of any color combination instead. I thought it was going to be like if you control 5 or more other snow lands with different names, you add like more than 1 mana. I love this ability. This is great. Snow permanents lose and can't gain any cumulative upkeep ability. So what you're telling me, for Paths to Life, is you're trying to make the old Ice Age cards good. Not good again, just good, period. Playable. Because they missed their time because they were never playable in the first place. The Boreal Rabbit. Oh, I didn't even notice there was a rabbit there. A little sneaky. Sneak. We have for 1 snow, a 1/1 rabbit. It's got haste, vigilance, and cryopathy. This card deals damage to creatures in the form of ice counters. Okay, that's fair. So what, it's like an ice count. It's like a -1/-1 counter, basically. Like damage just being dealt to it perpetually. Tap, add a blue. Activate only if it is day. No! Why are we bringing day and night back? I hate this mechanic. This is a bad mechanic. It's a very, very bad mechanic. Then we have snow tap. Untap target snow creature. Activate only if it's night. This feels like AI. It probably is. It's not broken. Oh, is it like a... Hold on, wait a minute. It's a mana dork. Basically. I think it's basically like it's a multicolor Matador because anyone can play snow cards. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. This card's broken. This is literally, it's just because it has haste. Because it has haste, it just taps for mana immediately. No way. So, okay, first we're bringing day and night back. That's terrible. But not even judging that, it's literally some sort of mox of some sort. You know, it's like half of a soul ring. What is this the closest to? Because I don't know any 1 mana create a mana rock thing. It adds normal mana, not snow. It's true. What do you think snow is when it's melted? It's water. What do ice counters? Oh, it deals damage to creatures in the form of ice counters. I think it sounds like it's something similar to like -1/-1 counters, where it just sits on them. And it doesn't get cleared. Danger, yeah, danger with Glacial Chasm. It's not Soul Ring, but it's not fair either. So I think if you got rid of the haste, card is completely fine. But the fact that you can tap it for mana the turn it enters the battlefield is not fine. I mean, unless you wanted to swap the abilities where you add the mana if it's night, because that's harder to pull off. You can't pull that off immediately. That's something you sort of have to work for. But as is, no way. It's like super fast mana. They will put this in combo decks. Mark my words, they would put this in combo decks. The rabbit would be banned. The Boreal White Wolf, a snow and a blue for a 2/2 wolf with Crowpathy. Also deals damage in the form of ice counters. Boreal White Wolf has haste if it's night. Whenever a non-snow creature with an ice counter on ice counter is dealt damage by the Boreal White Wolf, exert that creature. Whenever a non-snow creature with an ice counter is dealt damage by Boreal White Wolf, exit. We're forcing something to exert? Is I understand that correctly? Whenever a non-snow creature, so if my opponent's non-snow creature has an ice counter on it and it's dealt damage by the Boreal White Wolf, so it just doesn't untap. It's almost, shouldn't it just be stun that creature? I think I just put stun. Why are we using exert? It's basically the same thing, but stun probably makes the most sense. Talking about the rabbit, it can untap infinitely, can it? No, you're adding blue. You're not adding snow. You need snow to untap it. It only taps for blue. How much do I have to super chat to you to grow mustache? $1,000, and I'm shaving it off immediately. That'd be so hilarious. I guess it would take like a month to grow it. I would have to record all my videos ahead of time because I wouldn't want that stupid mustache in any of my videos. Ice counters are just like spore counters. They don't do anything by themselves, but things do with them. Okay, this has got to be stun, not exert. Otherwise, I like this card. It's not a problem. Again, if we knew what ice counters did, like the Z-Man Fair just said, ice counters are just like spore. Oh, spore counters. They don't do anything by themselves, but I see. But things do stuff with them. I thought it was like just like a damage counter, sitting waiting for the perfect time to kill. Okay, we go back to Trent Sims. Check out the last few cards here. Mew, the first Pokemon. Let's see the first Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. Better start with Mew. I mean, you're making Mew look so evil in this art. Mew is like a little bit more cute and cuddly and more playful. More like a Loki of Pokemon. 3 mana, 3/2 Pokemon Shapeshifter. This card is every creature type other than human? Okay. Flying Ward 2. Your non-human creatures have Mutate of Wooburg. Really? Your non-human creatures? So Mew can basically cast anything. I like it. Let me give Pokemon sound effect. Yeah, Phrexian and Mew. Mew is a god. I don't think Mew is a god. Mew is quite strong, but not a god. Mew, are you a god? This looks like some sort of scene out of Pokemon the first movie. Zach says, I worship Mew. And I wasted so much time when I was a kid playing Pokemon Blue, trying to find Mew, putting in the most stupid, ridiculous red herring ideas from the internet to try to get Mew. And the hilarious thing is, like 20 years later, there was an actual stupid combination of inputs you can put into the game to get Mew. They were no less ridiculous than the garbage they're spewing on the internet to like 25 years ago. More than 25, like 27. Yeah, I tried the strength on the truck. I did everything on the truck. I did everything I could to that stupid truck. It was all worthless. And it was believable. Why was the truck there? There was no reason for that truck being there. Worshipping Mew breaks a commandment. Well, for the religious people. I like it. Okay, I have nothing else to say about Mew here. Mewtwo, and you better believe it has double the abilities. I'm a little surprised at the casting cost. I would think Mewtwo, I don't know why it's green. I can understand the blue and the black. That makes a lot of sense to me. Oh, did Mew have flying? Yeah, it had flying in Ward 2. Okay, this one is a 4/7 with flying. Makes sense. Mewtwo has big legs. Always, Mewtwo never misses a leg day. Never goes for arm day. No upper body strength whatsoever. Clone Ball. When this card is cast, you may exile up to 3 other target non-human creatures from the battlefield and/or creature cards from graveyards with a clone counter on them. You may cast cards with clone counters on them from exile, and you may spend mana's lower mana of any color to cast them. Just getting revenge. Hold on. Exile up to 3 other target non-human creatures? Oh, I thought that it was said humans, because Mewtwo is completely peeved at the humans. Why is Mewtwo attacking the Pokemon all of a sudden? You may exile up to 3 other target non-human creatures from the battlefield. I guess he's recruiting. I guess that's the idea. Mewtwo is the opposite of green. Boy, literally was bioengineered. Ah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, when you're right, you're right. Yeah. Would get completely adopted by the Simic. Yeah, Mewtwo captured and cloned in the Pokemon movie. By the way, what's canon, the Pokemon movie or the Pokemon game? Because it was actually a little conflicting. I think there was some conflicting information about how Mewtwo was created. Maybe I don't remember so much. I just remember when I was a kid, I was like, wait a minute, I watched the movie and I'm like, that's not what happened in the game. Also, I saw this movie in theaters, Pokemon the first movie. I was like literally the only teenager there, and everyone else was this like 6-7-year-old kid. When I was in line for the movie theaters, it was a bit awkward. Well, I mean, I'm with a bunch of parents as well, so maybe it wasn't that strange. The game is red, not at. The game is red, not. Mewtwo was always bioengineered in the lab at Cinnabar. Moves and games each have their own canon. Well, I was more of a 13-year-old kid at the time. Movie is canon to the TV show, I think, which is its own canon to the manga and video game. Whatevers. Okay, thank you so much for... this was a really cool series of cards. I enjoyed it. Okay, Winter Fox. 2 Fireball variants. And other stuff. 2 Fireball. We're not looking at the Fireballs anymore. We're looking at your crazy artifact cards. What is the other cards? And super creature artifacts. Super creatures. Okay, what the hell is this casting cost? Is 16 mana for a legendary creature, Artificial Eldrazi Ultima. And it has no power. Completely on defense. 0/10. Hexproof, Flying, and Fabricate 5. The spell cannot be countered. Whenever you cast this spell, create 5 10/10 Snow Colorless Artifact Eldrazi Titan creature tokens with Hexproof First Strike, and if this creature leaves the battlefield, create 2 5/5 Snow Colorless Artificial Eldrazi Titan spawn creature tokens with double strike and haste. 2 mana tap. Regul Sol? So what the hell? The Cataclysmic Mirror deals... Oh, that's the name of the card. Deals 3 damage to all creatures you do not control. Didn't even read this thing. Regul Sauce. The Cataclysmic Mirror. Don't get in its way. You know what? I'm perfectly happy that this spell can't be countered for that casting cost. It is one of the more higher casting cost cards in the game. It's funny. You would think you'd have at least 1 colorless mana by the time you cast this thing. You would think. I babysat my niece and nephew and watched an episode of Pokemon about perfume. This is pure torture. Was there an episode about that? I haven't seen them all. Wait, what is a Ravi is your blood type? You mean ravioli? The artificial Eldrazi's. Okay, all things considered, it's like a bomb, but I mean, you're spending 6 mana on it, so why not? 16 mana, you better get something out of it. This thing's like the biggest Eldrazi of all time. Okay, we have for another 16 mana, Toll Petria Ains, the ultimate answer. I'm playing the ultimate answer on all of you. 15, 18, Artificial Eldrazi Ultima. Indestructible, Trample, Double Strike, Ward 3, can't be countered. During each upkeep, place 1 plus X. Why are we doing this? +1/+1 counters on this creature where X is the number of Planeswalkers, Phyrexians, and/or Eldrazi you do not control on the battlefield. Players can only target Toll Priya Ains, the ultimate answer, with instant or sorcery spells. What? Oh, you can only target with instant or sorcery spells, not creatures, not planeswalkers, not artifacts or enchantments. Okay, cool. Only Ward 3. I can still exile it. And at this point of the game, probably you might have the mana to do it. This is just like infinite mana away from like destroying everybody. Infinite mana combo. It's time to play the ultimate answer. This episode, Toads is talking about when Ash battles Arika, the plant Pokemon gym leader for the Rainbow Badge. Oh, I never got that far into the series. There is a point where they just started looping the first generation cartoons over and over again in Canada, and I just couldn't get further into the series. But that was before like Pokemon Gold came out in North America. Okay, next up. Z-Man Fader. Going back to the Ojama cards. The broken Ojama cards. They probably should be broken. All things considered. The Ojama Knight. This is a 3 mana 1/5 Ojama Goblin Beast. When Ojama Knight enters the battlefield, you may tap up to 2 creatures opponents control. If you do, those creatures tapped by Ojama Knight don't untap during the controller's untap step for as long as you control Ojama Knight. First off, I think it's been worded very, very well. It's like a weird Oblivion ring, is what I'm getting at. Still has the underwear. Everything has underwear. What is this? Is this the flying spaghetti monster? Like I've seen those eyeballs before. The only thing annoying about this card would be in paper, just keeping track of like what's tapped with the Ojama Knight, because it doesn't technically exile the cards. Like they're still in the battlefield, so you can activate abilities of the cards being tapped. They're still there. What do you do if someone steals your underwear, like 1 pair, and you hadn't worn them yet? I just let them keep it, as far as I'm concerned. You know, my last trip, I forgot to bring underwear. TSA made me open my suitcase, and I saw the bad news. I'm like, oh my God. And they were like, what's wrong? I don't have underwear. Fortunately, my hotel was right next to a Walmart, so that wasn't a problem at all. I went and I got myself new underwear. Still have it. They are making their own Speedos. Hey, you gotta take things. You gotta take your destiny into your own hands. Okay, next we got Oja Muscle, a 3 mana kindred sorcery. Ojama. Target Ojama King gains indestructible until end of turn, then destroy all creatures. Targeted Ojama King gains +0 plus X, where X is twice the number of Ojama creatures destroyed by this effect. Target Ojama King. I don't understand why it says Ojama King. Target Ojama King gains. Like, how many Ojama Kings are there? This is just an Ojama. Oh, here's Ojama King. There's only one Ojama King. So here's Ojama King. So if we target Ojama King does gains indestructible until the turn, then destroy all creatures. Like, what's the point of that? Didn't the Ojama King tap down a bunch of creatures? So we just blew up the creatures that we tapped. Targeted Ojama King gets +0 plus X, where X is twice the number of Ojama creatures destroyed this way. That's just weird. Yeah, target creature named Ojama King. That is very Yu-Gi-Oh like, okay? They do that in Yu-Gi-Oh. They have cards for very, very specific other cards. They're sort of spelling out the combo for you in Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, they really hold your hand. They say like standard is like really artificial. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh gets even more artificial. I guess at a very basic level. Then there's like really weird interactions with super old cards that are not foreseen. Yeah, of course you have to target Ojama King first before you blow up everything. Very color intensive, absolutely. Okay, I like it. And I like the idea of these crappy creatures getting buffed up by these big spells, which is very Yu-Gi-Oh-esque, I must say. It's very, very Yu-Gi-Oh-esque. We got a lot of super chats today. This is gonna be a 3-hour show. 4 Paths of Life. What do you got for us? Into the Cryosis. And we're gonna look at the last 2 cards of the series. I might have to like line up more music. No, I'm definitely gonna have to line up more music. Okay, the Endothermic Season. Snowland. Endothermic Season enters tapped. All lands are snowlands. Non-snow permanents gain. Whenever this permanent is tapped, put a stun counter on it. If it already has a stun counter on it, put an ice counter on it instead. Non-snow permanents gain whenever this... Oh, so if they attack, they get a stun counter. That's broken. I mean, that's just that's absolutely broken. This is like the ultimate control card. So basically, whenever someone attacks you, it's just going to get a stun counter. It's going to be incredibly frustrating. Even if it enters the battlefield tapped, it doesn't matter. This would be the ultimate blue-white control, or any blue-white X control card. Yeah, super miserable. This is... I'm not going to say it's worse than Tabernacle or Glacial Chasm, because those... Especially Glacial Chasm, they just don't take any damage at all. But there's just no good way to play around this. It's just terrible. At the very least, it should not add mana, just like those other miserable cards. So I would say this is 2 thumbs down. If you want, you can just remove this really evil butcher back-breaking ability, and the rest of it would be fine. Enters the battlefield tapped, you can add white or blue, and all lands are snow lands. That'd be totally fine. Okay, Aurora. Aurora Boreal Night Mistress. Maybe a little reference to Aurora Borealis. This is... should also be called Northern Lights. Okay, we have Snow, Blue, 3 generic for a 5/5 Noble Moonfolk. Protection from non-snow and the chiropathy. This card deals damage to creatures in the form of ice counters. If it is not night, it becomes night. Night can't become day. And when Aurora Boreal Night Mistress enters, and during your upkeep, put an ice counter on each other creature. Whenever a non-snow creature enters, put an ice counter on it. Whenever a non-snow creature has 5 or more ice counters on it, exile it. Oh, well, if you get too frozen, you're going to completely disappear. Okay, I like this card. What's left on the bingo card? Not much. Were any of those Eldrazi Titans 10/10s? I don't remember. Waifu card. Oh, maybe we got a waifu. Is this a waifu? Yeah, that's a waifu card. I agree. 100 million %. Oh, did this make a bingo? It did not. I'm just saying in advance, this bingo card is worth 5 extra free slots just in case we get the whole full house one day. That would be like, what would it be? 1, 5, 10, 12 extra freebies. God, that would be a miserably long show. Bingo alert, you can't get rid of those Eldrazi's. You can get rid of them. It's not easy. Would say it's not worth it. Okay, we got... Okay, that's it. Moving on. Oh, Steve Cooper has a big super chat. Mana card cycle version 1 with pic... Yes! Steve Cooper has made pictures these days. Mana card cycle. Because Steve Cooper very often doesn't include pictures. Sucks the life out of the cards. Last 4 cards of the cycle we did with white last time and 1 donation. Okay, so you want the last 4 cards? Last 4 cards of the cycle. Oh, we did the white one last time, and then 1 super chat. Okay, cool. Mana Sight. Blue, instant. Choose 1. Target player scries X up to X. Target creatures can't be blocked this turn, where X is the amount of blue mana in your mana pool. This is the most real card I've seen easily all day. I need more good sound effects here. Where's the amount of blue mana in your mana? Hold on, wait, what? Wait, whoa. Oh, do we have to float the mana? So we can float the mana, but we don't have to spend the mana? I didn't think this through properly. So we go blue, float a bunch of blue. Where's the amount of blue mana in your mana pool? Target player scries X. Up to X target creatures can't be blocked this turn. Either of these abilities aren't broken, so I guess this can fly. Steve, make that dono for the super chat. It goes to people anyway. I took pictures from real cards that fit the custom cards. Yeah, that's fine. A lot of people do that. Totally fair. Okay, I like it. Hopefully not broken, because you get to keep the mana, but both of these abilities are like, you know, not game breaking or anything like that. The Mana Dread. It's a black instant. Again, the X is going to be based on the amount of black mana in your mana pool. Choose 1. Target player discards up to X cards. They lose life equal to the amount of cards not discarded this way. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. It's a free roll, though. This card is infinitely more powerful than the last one. It's like crazy more powerful. Mikhail says, hey, Pedgeman. Is Pedgeman in the house? Oh, Pedgeman is in the house. Hello, everyone. Pedgeman always shows up at the end, where the freebies are going to come into play. I think Pedgeman has a system. Well, I'm not going to be here for the first 2 hours. Just be there in the last hour. That's all that matters. I don't know if this is fair. Both abilities are really strong. Because, like, for 5 mana, you can just be like, okay, discard 3 cards, right? They lose, and they lose life equal to the number of cards not discarded this way. Target player discards up to X cards. I just don't know what to compare this to. 2 mana, so I need... So for 5 mana, something gets -X until end of turn. Maybe this is okay. I don't want to think about it too hard. We got Mana Burn! It's a red instant. Choose 1. Mana Burn deals X damage to target player. Mana Burn deals twice X damage to target creature or player, where X is the amount of red mana in your mana pool. So it's basically an X damage spell. Okay, that actually... what's interesting is you need the mana available, but you don't have to spend it. Maybe I should have the controller also lose life as well. No! Oh, the controller loses life? I don't know. I don't know if that's necessary. Yeah, I can get behind this. But I would say I guess it's a flavor win, the name. I guess it's a flavor win. You're like sort of using the mana to burn someone else, but like technically within the game, the mana burn is when you're not spending the mana. You know what I mean? Toad's like, yes, let's bring Mana Burn. Old school. Yeah, let's also bring back damage on the stack, anti, all those classics, right, Toads? All those classics. Can you imagine how much more powerful Death Shadow would be if Mana Burn were still a thing? Oh yeah, I guess so, because they could be like float 4 mana. That sounds like a really good video idea for like card market. They play Magic, but with old school rules, with new school cards. Mana Might! Okay, double green instant. Choose one. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn. Up to X target creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. That works out with me. These are actually reasonably balanced. And you do, like, you're sort of getting a discount because you can play something with your mana later, but you still need the mana available, because if you don't, and it needs to be in green. If you don't have that green mana, then you don't get anything. These cards will do all these cards will do very well with Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. Get your Nykthos, people. Okay. It's time to get through all the $5 super chats. Give me a few seconds. I gotta increase the inventory for the music. We're gonna run out here. I'm gonna start saying, oh, wait a minute, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Okay, okay, we're good. I think we're good for a little while. Okay, move on to Lil MX Doom. Viscor. Veteran Rally Master. Okay, Viscor. Big card. Can I lower this a little bit? There we go. That works. Okay, we have 5 mana for a 4/4 human warrior. Vigilance, Ward 2. Other legendary creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Vigilance. So you want like a Legendaries Matters type of deck. The first legendary creature you cast on your turn gets Hideaway 2. And whenever, so you play it and you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and then you can put one of them underneath. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to an opponent, you may play the exiled card by paying life equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. It's a really convoluted way to give cards Hideaway, but it works. You a huge fan of Hideaway at Little MX Doom? Cormanic says, if it makes you feel better, Nikachu, I don't have any new cards. I'm sort of in a slump. Don't worry, your creative block will end. It will end very, very soon. So, what's interesting is, like, it's the first legendary creature you cast on your turn gets Hideaway too. It's basically, you only need to play 1 a turn anyway. It doesn't change anything. Anyway, I like this card. I give it 2 thumbs up. Especially since it's a weird Legends Matters card. Could have been Mono Black or Rakdos, not gonna lie. Maybe the white gives it the +1/+1. Definitely the Vigilance. Cause I guess green has Vigilance too. That works too. The damn just bring back land home and make everyone miserable. No, we don't need to bring back those mechanics.
No, God, please, no.
Yeah, never mind the Vigilance. Well, green has Vigilance, right? It's all covered up. Well, I mean, I guess it could have been I guess it could have been Orzhov for the most part. Okay, the damn draws. We got Minos Labyrinth. It's a Kindred Land. Legendary Kindred Land for the Minotaurs. That's right. Remember, everyone, the Minotaur archetype. It's on its way. Enters the battlefield unless you control a legendary Minotaur. Add a black and a red. Legendary Minotaurs you control can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. How many legendary Minotaurs are there? Is it just going to be like the legendary, like what, Magda? Is that it? And I don't know, maybe some changelings? I think that's it. When are we going to finish mine? Oh, yeah, you have this one thing here. I thought we got there. My bad, the slider messed up. I thought, for Anna Condemned. Okay, hold on. I thought we looked at the last card. But if not, I'll try to look that up again. No. I did. I think I went back. Was it, hold on. Oh, no, maybe I didn't. Give me the name of your title, and I'll look it back. My bad. The slider messed up. It's supposed to be 20. It's supposed to be 25. Here's the last 5 for the Anna Condemned Demister. Or maybe, okay, if that had the title, I'll look again. Maybe I screwed up. Thank you for letting me know, Joel. Okay, I'm gonna finish off with the Mino slot. How many? There are a few. There's 11 legendary Minotaurs. All right, so this is a very narrow card for a very specific archetype, and you have to play all of those things. Okay, next up, let's go back to the Annex. I agree. We have to go back to the Annex. No, I made a mistake. I definitely made a mistake. Or maybe I knew that you had this extra super chat, and I just forgot to get back there early. Okay. You need a super chat sound effect. Anak, progenitor of Abaddon. This is a 6-mana 8/4 Nephilim Berserker with trample, and it also has menace. Very intimidating. It's exerting its pressure on the battlefield. Anak, progenitor of Abaddon, must attack each combat if able. Whenever Anak, progenitor of Abaddon, attacks, target creature can't block this turn. What does this remind me of? It reminds me of the classic cards from a long time ago, like from the first few years of Magic, where there was these creatures with high power, very low toughness. Although this has like way more words on it. Attacks, target creature can't block this turn, so you gotta make sure you gotta have a lot of blockers. If you have one blocker, that's not enough to get through the Anak, all right? Too scary, too intimidating. Hell, I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to get through this guy either. This guy looks like this it's a giant. It's a giant in the face of this entire army over here. Look at that, everyone. Cameron Cole says all your custom cards are cool. They always were. They always were, Cameron. There's never a doubt in my mind. The Brute? Is that what I'm thinking of? Roid Rage, for sure. You are thinking Berserkers. Anyway, this is a incredibly fair card. What's interesting, it doesn't have haste, which actually makes it even more fair. Oh my god, it's got menace, though. I didn't see that. So, so then you need to have a ton of creatures out, because if there's 2 creatures, then you can make one of them not be able to block, and that makes it even more difficult to block this thing. This card goes deep. Okay, lastly, we got Anak, Condemned Demistar, a 5-mana 4/4 Nephilim Mystic with hexproof. You may cast this card from exile. So what you're telling me is we actually want this card to die. Yeah, you need at least 3 creatures out to be able to block the last creature. Now, if a creature would die, it's exiled instead. Huh? Okay, including... So, okay, if anyone knows the rules, if this thing dies, does it go to exile? Like, Rest in Peace? Does Rest in Peace... Like, I don't think Rest in Peace exiles itself. But I don't know the rules well enough to know that. And then for 5 mana, search your library for a card named Anak, progenitor of Abaddon, and place it onto the battlefield. Which one was that? It's this thing. And it gains haste, and at the end of combat, sacrifice this creature until end of turn. So basically, it goes to exile, and then you can play it again. It should self-exile if it would die. I feel it should be a double face card. Caro Talk says, I know it's late, but I just got here. Rewatching the stream. Unoxygenated blood is dark red, despite the very common misinformation stating otherwise. Yeah, including my my elementary, so not my high school education, saying it's blue. Fools. Is it 2 hours yet? It's not 2 hours. It's going to be 2 hours though. We can bet on it. Okay, the Nephilim are mythological giants that like in Earth Center. That's where they live, huh? Okay, I can give this card a pass. I don't know how it's gonna work though. It almost feels like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Search your library for this card, put it onto the battlefield. Very, very Yu-Gi-Oh like. How many of you are actually Yu-Gi-Oh players in disguise? Next up, the damn draws. One with nothing. We'll play on one with nothing. The opposite. It's funny, one with nothing. This is complete opposite of one with nothing, at least in flavor. 2-mana sorcery. When you cast this spell, if you have no cards in your hand, graveyard and library, and you control no non-land permanents, you win the game. Joel plays both, hence how Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh are blending in with each other. Okay, is this like can we win the game with this thing? When you cast this spell, if you have no cards in your hand, graveyard, library, you control no non-land permanents, you win the game. Isn't this just broken? Hold on. Why is it when you cast? It means so like it's when you cast, so it just makes it even more broken. It's completely broken. I mean, this is insane. You have to have literally everything in exile. It's a very silly... Really? When you cast a spell, if you have no cards in hand, graveyard, and library, and you control no non-land... Oh, it's actually not that easy at all. I don't know how to pull this off. Okay, this went from super easy to super hard. That's right. It's got to be nowhere in graveyard. Because if our deck went to, like, let's say we dumped our deck, then they would usually be in the graveyard. Otherwise, the graveyard has to go to the library. And the thing is, the trick is, you need to find a card that will exile itself while exiling everything else as the final blow before you play with one with nothing. Yeah, maybe Worldfire in a crappy way. But then, like, don't you lose all the cards in your hand with Wildfire. So what that also means is one with nothing has to be like the last card in your deck, which makes it even more complicated. I guess you draw all the cards in your deck, you brainstorm, put the Wildfire back on top, something like that. Something, something, something. Okay. It's actually fair. Strangely enough. Toads with the super chat. We've got Dear Jerky. And there is, in fact, a deer. It's called Taekwondo. Does anyone get it? Anyway, okay. So it's a legendary 2/1 legendary creature with ninjutsu. When Taekwondo enters, target creature gains menace. When that target creature deals combat damage to a player, I think it just can say, when that creature deals combat damage to a player, create a food token. Yeah, super pun. I believe like a young deer is a doe, something to that effect. Booze the pun. Wow, Corbinek. What's wrong with you, Corbinek? You're booing the card. You're booing the joke. Hold on, this creature has no creature type. What is this? What is this? An AI generated Magic the Gathering card? Is that on here? It's not. Dad jokes for days. I'm 60. Why not? Okay. I like it. Especially since it's not actually broken. Another Didam draws Averkel, the Spark Snuffer. Sounds wrong. Sounds like it's sniffing drugs or something. Okay, Averkel is a 6-mana 5/5 Demon Assassin. Adversary to Planeswalkers. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each Planeswalker opponent's control. That's a very, very unique concept. So your cards can get cheaper for the more broken cards your opponents are playing. We got bingo for a 2-hour stream. Brian Freak coming out of nowhere to let us know that. All right, where's our 2-hour stream? And that's going to be, and it's definitely going to be another bingo. Three customs at the end. Oops, what am I doing? Okay, back to the card. Death Touch to Planeswalkers. So I guess they're going to die. They touch the Planeswalkers, they're dead. Flying in Haste. Planeswalkers can often complicate our grand machinations. Such times require a special touch. Adversary seems like good design space. Absolutely. This is a very good idea. Adversary to squirrels or something. Adversary to squirrels, toads. You're going to make my card super cheap. The card was based on Toy Story 3. There was a toy named that. What, Averkel? I saw Toy Story 3. I don't remember this guy in there. Keyword explains the keyword. We already had... Oh. Have we ever checked this thing off? Maybe never. Maybe this is the first... I don't know if we ever had the keyword explains the keyword square pulled off ever in the show. Okay, next. Okay, and as Flying in Haste. And it is doable. Next up, we got Calensus with Necro Omnipotence. Omnipotence. I thought there should be some big sad face on this thing, right? Okay, triple black, triple blue, 7 generic for legendary enchantment. If a card would be put in your hand, put it in your graveyard instead. Hold on, where's the sound effect for this? If a spell would be put into your graveyard from the stack, exile it instead. That could be an advantage. You can play lands and cast spells from your graveyard. You can cast spells from your graveyard without paying their mana cost. What? What is going on here? But it does cost a lot of money. I mean, I think this is an overcosted Yawgmoth's Will. Maybe at triple black, triple blue would be fair. Yeah, it's 13 mana. Or maybe not. Actually, even at triple black, triple blue would be too much. But you can't cast anything else. And also, there's like a lot of answers to this card, like Grafdigger's Cage. If someone just tutors out a Grafdigger's Cage or plays Grafdigger's Cage, shuts down the card hard. Yeah, finishers be like this sometimes. Yeah, it's 13 mana. I mean, some of you people put the right casting cost on these cards. Okay, I will say that is doable. more of a funny joke card though. David Mosley, new non-creature type bingo with the manufacturing plant. Why did you have to super chat this? Okay, so that will be, we'll leave that as a dono. So I do believe we got that thing. New, yeah, I think we got that one. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this up as a dono. Thank you very much, David. Elixir, the Snowborn Fisher. Very epic, I promise. You promise? Okay, it's a snow for a 1/3 orc. Whenever a fish dies, create a food token. Whenever a fish dies. So basically the idea is you're catching the fish. Why is an orc fishing in the middle of nowhere. The snowborn fisher. I don't remember that in the Lord of the Rings. I don't remember that canon. That was not canon as far as I'm concerned. He lives a very humble, simple life. His butt is freezing to this thing. You know, I've seen on YouTube, people have gotten way too teched out when it comes to, like, snow fishing. They've got, like, this big official tent that they can have over a section of area. And then they've got, like, this elevated bed or hammock set up. And they've got, like, this state-of-the-art industrial, like, fishing rod to wait for fish. I mean, it's like unbelievably insane, where I feel like the spirit of ice fishing is just drilling a hole and just sitting out in the middle of freezing nowhere waiting for a fish. That'd be insane what I described. It's real. It's very, very real. People just take it to, like, super grandmaster levels just to catch a fish by yourself. They can, like, go to sleep and then the fishing rod will notify them, or, like, make all sorts of weird tugging and noises when you got a fish. Gift a fish to an opponent, then kill it. Yeah, and then make a food token out of it. All I know about ice fishing in Canada, I learned from playing the Long Dark. I've gone ice fishing once. I didn't catch squat, and that was the end of my fishing career. I never went again. Been there, froze, not doing it again. Yeah. That's the problem. It needs to be cold enough so that you don't fall into the lake, but ideally warm enough that you're not freezing yourself off either. Okay. Definitely a perfectly legal card. The damn draws. Ham. One with the Cosmos. Oh, we do have a monkey card today. Hold on. We gotta show support for the monkeys. 4 mana, 3/4 ape pilot. When Ham enters, create a legendary colorless 6/8 artifact vehicle named Mercury Redstone 2 with haste, flying, and crew 3. When a vehicle crewed by Ham deals damage to an opponent, create a banana token equal to the damage dealt, and Cosmic Exposure for 3 mana tap. Target opponent gains rad counters equal to the number of artifacts you control. Okay, hold on. For 4 mana, you put, like, basically a Sky Sovereign into play. Create a legendary colorless 6/8 artifact vehicle with crew 3. That's broken. I think this is broken. It can't come with such a giant vehicle. And then the deal is you play Ham, your opponent kills it, and the next turn you just play another creature and attack with this gigantic legendary colorless 6/8 vehicle. I mean, it's just, if there is a something that sort of broke vehicles, it is like some creature that makes one. I think this card has to just cost way more mana if you're getting like a 2-for-1 like that. I was thinking about raising the cost. It probably has to be raised a lot. I would imagine this would be an outrageously... I mean, it's sort of on the same level as Asika's Chariot. That's the way I'm looking at this. It's very, very similar in power level. Very, very similar. And it has flying and haste. The thing with Asika's Chariot, it's more low to the ground. The 6/8 has haste, so you can hit on the spot. Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's absolutely broken. I don't know how to fix this. It's just too big of a creature to have immediately. If you deal with either side, it's just gonna really suck. Forget the rest of the abilities on this card. Corbinek, Leyline of Origin. Pretty sure there's a deck out there for this. So what you're telling me is it's narrow. The Leyline of Origin. This is... Okay, let's shrink this down a little bit. Leyline of Origin is a 5 mana legendary enchantment. If this card is in your opening hand, you can reveal it and put it into play. White creatures in play have First Strike. Blue creatures in play have Flying. Green creatures in play have Trample. Red creatures in play have Haste, and black creatures in play have Death Touch. Yeah, it has a perfect home. It's just any Wooburg deck, right? I think any Wooburg deck loves this card. Basically turn all their creatures into like flying, trampling hasters. Like the white and black abilities probably aren't that ability. Yeah, it's just Sign of Draco. Sign of Draco turning everything else into Sign of Draco. I think honestly, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, like this plus Leyline of the Guild Pact. What a combo! Play this in slivers. Problem is, like, if you have all the slivers out, they probably give you all these abilities anyway. Leyline of Origin is basically slivers the hard way. Or sorry, slivers is Leyline of Origin the hard way. It is. Oh, I didn't even realize it's symmetrical. Look at that. It's fair. Look at that. Look at that card design. If it was just one way, that'd be very frustrating. So, but, you know, you do have to have blue creatures. To be honest, I don't think it's going to matter all that much that this is symmetrical. I'll tell you why. Because if I'm a blue deck and I have blue creatures, most of my blue creatures are going to be grossly outclassed by whatever you're attacking with. And if nobody has blue creatures, then you can't block my stuff. So it, like, just doesn't matter. I think the only thing... Well, I guess the only thing that will matter is you're going to help your opponent's red creatures have haste. That's probably the only relevant thing. Should deal damage the amount of times plays in the text. Well, I don't know about that. Okay, great. This is a great idea. I always feel like symmetrical cards aren't that symmetrical. It is true, but they are more symmetrical otherwise. You didn't even give me the minimum, Trent Sims. That's not even the minimum. Okay, hold on. We have a super chat for bingo and a super... Are there two separate things on here? Dono to Pedgeman and super chat just to complete the bingo. Okay, we're gonna get both of them here. Okay, so we have one dono to Pedgeman and one super chat to complete the bingo, and that will also complete the final 2-5. So we have a bingo this way. We have a bingo this way. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we've hit our 5 limit. I wonder if we can still finish off the entire board though. Okay, we have tech. Okay, we have one Pedgeman, the third dono. Okay, we have one super chat for... We still have a lot of cards to get through. We have one super chat for Pedgeman. This is just super chat for the bingo. F it, we can give this to somebody. And we have 2 more donations over here. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 more cards. Okay, Pedgeman, did you have anything in mind? I'm going to assume whatever is the latest thing that you've posted is what you want for today. So what's the very first thing? Okay, I'm assuming whatever's the last thing or close to it, that's what's getting chosen. I'll give you a super chat sound effect. Knowledge Burst. 4 mana instant. Any number of target players each draw X cards, where X is the total number of cards drawn by all players this turn. Huh? Any number of players... No, sorry. Any number of target players each draw X cards, where X is the total number of cards drawn by all players this turn. Then each player with the most cards in hand discards half their hand rounded down. Flashback for 6 mana. I can't tell if this is broken or underwhelming. It's one of the two. One of the Eldrazi's was a 15-18. Oh my god. Oops. For and another one. This could be close to... I don't know how the hell we did this already. Can't do it on purpose. Oh, is there a vertical bingo in the middle? Hold on. You're right! I think this is the most we've ever covered the card. I'm missing the bingos all over the place. There's a bingo in the middle! What an accomplishment. Okay, back to Pedgeman's card. I can't wrap my head around this thing. So any number of if you, so the thing is you target certain number of players. So you can say, can't you just have target one person? Any number of target players each draw X cards, where X is the total number of cards drawn by all players this turn. So if a bunch of players drew cards, I can just be the only person drawing. Then each player with the most cards in hand discards half their hand, rounded down. This isn't the card. This isn't the card you want. He wanted. Then why does he post it? He doesn't have to post it. I put a card name in the chat. You didn't even read it. I can't. No. Well, there's a lot of stuff happening. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, one of the super chats is gonna be eaten up by this thing. I think there's something wrong with this card. I think it should just say. I don't know why it's like any number. Is it just a politics type card? Like you could just target yourself, but in some case you could like let someone else also draw a bunch of cards with you. Because otherwise, I don't understand why you're saying any number of target players each draw each card. I mean, I guess it's legal. Also, it's an interesting counter. If somebody draws a ton of cards in one turn, you play Knowledge Burst and you draw a bunch of cards yourself. You can target 1 or 0 or everyone, whatever you want. You're not wrong. Okay, we're going to look at the card. Okay, so that was one. That will be considered one super chat. This will be another super chat. This is Gene, Witch of Vengeance. Didn't we look at something like this already? Gene. Maybe not. It looks like it's going to be a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Gene, Witch of Vengeance, 6 mana for a 3/5 human warlock servant with flash. Gene costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control that died this turn. Noble Phantasm. When this is on the battlefield, you may cast a copy of a card on its back face by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. What? So while it's on the battlefield, you may cast a copy of a card on its back face by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. But it doesn't, the back face doesn't have a cost usually. Right? Dang, something not Toho, Pejman. I guess I don't know the lore behind these cards to know. Like nothing, like your back card, for example, has no cast. Oh, this one did have a casting. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I am corrected. Okay, so some of these do have a casting cost. Whenever Gene, but then how about the ones that don't have a casting cost? You just get to pay 0 for them. Doesn't that just break a bunch of double-sided cards? Because the backside the backside of most double-sided cards cost nothing. Whenever Gene is dealt damage. Oh, but maybe you can't cast them because it costs nothing. It doesn't even have mana. It has mana value 0, but it has no casting cost. Okay, maybe that does work. Whenever Gene is dealt damage, she deals that much damage to each opponent. And of course, there is a backside, so it's going to eat up another super chat. Thank you so much, Steve Cooper. So it'll take. You have technically donated to Pejman by accident. You can only cast the backside of this card with its ability. No, that's not how I'm interpreting this thing. So long as this thing's on the while it's on the battlefield, you may cast a copy of a card on its backside. Well, the way I'm reading this, I think you can cast any double-sided card the way I'm reading it. Like this included. Roar of Hatred. This is a 4-mana Noble Phantasm instant. What? Roar of Hatred deals 2 damage to each creature, planeswalker, and battle, plus an additional 1 damage for each creature that died this turn. This is... it casts only its own backside. So is this still on the Okay, I don't get it. Is Gene still on the battlefield, or are we using the card now and the Roar of Hatred goes to the graveyard? Oh, okay. So did you screw up the words then? Because it does say a card and not this card. Where this is on the battlefield, you may cast a copy of a card on its back face. That's how I interpreted it. So in that case, there was a bit of a misdesign here. And also, I still don't know. You may cast a copy. Oh, you cast a copy of the backside. Okay, I get it. So you get a copy of the backside, but this creature is still in play. Yeah, the Phantasm is... the Phantasm stays. This is definitely one of the more confusing cards. Not intuitive. Probably needs to be worded. It should be just... while it's on the battlefield, you may cast a copy of this card's backside by discarding a card by paying its other costs. Gene is on the battlefield. You can cast a copy of the card on the back. It's basically the Alchemy Spellbook. Yeah, but it's not worded like that. That's the problem. So slightly worded poorly. Otherwise, I think the card is okay. There's probably some design space for playing the backside of these cards. It sounds like also, though, you should only be able to, like, play that card once a game. Or, like, you know, something like Exert. Being able to use the backside over and over again would get, like, incredibly frustrating over the course of a game. Zach, honestly, you got a lot of cards. So what I usually do with the super chats is I try to give the donos to people who have no super chats at all. So we're going to go through, if there's really nobody, then I guess I could give you one. So I'm going to go through the chat and try to find somebody who didn't get a card today. None at all. So this super chat from David Mosley, thank you very much for your super chat. It's going to go to Saint of Circumstance. Why are they so big? What happened? These cards are so big now. Some weird thing. Desert Castle Waterfall. Mountain Plains. It's a legendary artifact land. Oh my goodness. You can play you can't play Desert Castle Waterfall from your hand. Huh? So we have to play it from the graveyard? Desert Castle Waterfall come into play tapped unless you control a mountain. Tap white permanents you cast costs white less for each swamp or mountain your opponents control only once each turn. Hold on, that didn't make any sense at the end. You have to fetch it out? Oh, that could make some... Oh, yeah, that's true. You have to fetch it out. Well, no, you can play it from your graveyard from, like, you know, what's it? Raminap Excavator? Was it Raminap Excavator? Or Crucible of Worlds? When it comes to play tapped... it comes to play tapped unless you control a mountain. Hold on. White permanents you cast cost white less for each swamp or mountain your opponents control. Only once a turn. That doesn't make any sense. How are we keeping track of that? That's, like, impossible to keep track. I think it's fair to say... Actually, I don't think... Okay, so the ability is pretty strong, right? The ability is pretty strong, so it should be very, very difficult to get into play. I think it's fair to say white spells... Sure. White permanents you cast cost white less to cast. If your opponent controls a mountain or a swamp. We'll just say that. We'll just put it like that. I think that would make it. I don't know if I honestly don't even know if that's fair, but this is so hard to get. Maybe it's not that hard to get in play. But the problem is if you draw this card, it's so dead because you can't play it from your hand, right? Oh, and Zach, a question. Did Zach get a super chat? I can't remember if Zach donated. If Zach didn't donate, then maybe I should get this solar array. I can't remember. Zach has been so active in chat. I feel like he's Zach super chatted. Okay, so we're gonna give you a super chat, I guess. Solar array. I'm sorry about that, Zach. I hope you're still here. I confused you for some people who super chatted, but you didn't super chat, so you absolutely are exactly the type of person who gets freebies. So we have 5 freebies from the bingo sheet today. We covered a whole crap load of them. So you're gonna get one of them. 1 mana legendary artifact. When solar array enters, if you cast it, then put a soul counter on it. Draw a card. When solar array enters, if you cast it, put a soul counter on it. Draw a card, and each opponent creates a token that's a copy of solar array. So everyone gets one. Pay 1. Put a soul counter on solar array. Activate only as a sorcery. Tap. Add double colorless. Activate only if solar array has 1 or more soul counters on it. So basically, it's like it's a solar ring you have to charge up. If you cast it, put a soul counter on it. Draw a card. Well, no, it's broken. Do you know what this reminds me of? It's Arkham's Astrolabe, but worse. Right? It's like it's way worse. Powerful, but not a game changer. In regular 60 card Magic, it is. I would say it is. And remember, they're only keeping Solar Ring around because it's like a classic in Commander. Otherwise, they would have banned it a long time ago. Super ban worthy. What if you return the land from exile? Probably that works too for that last card. You were telling me I get Metalcraft with that and take the initiative for free. Hold on, with this card? So when you enters, if you cast it, put a soul counter on it, draw a card, and each opponent creates a token that's a copy of this, and they can put a soul counter on. And they also get free mana. It gives copies to opponents though, but they have to charge it. And also they don't get the card. You get the card draw if you cast it. They didn't cast it. They just got it into play. I honestly think it's broken. I don't think the downside is enough. It's just super upside here. It's like really slow for the opponent. It's super fast for you, and it's card draw. I will admit you can't blink it, but it's still really, really strong. I don't know, you gotta remove. I want to say, if you want to design this card, it should be like, it's just Soul Ring, but everyone gets one. That's it. So you pay 1 mana, Soul Ring, everyone gets a Soul Ring, and then you move on from there. You pay the 1 mana, which is charging it essentially. No, you don't. So when if you cast it, you you put a soul counter on it. So we do not have to charge it. The opponents do. It's basically Soul Ring for everyone, but no, you draw a card and you get the charge counter. If you don't draw, but you give to everyone a Soul Ring, you're down a card. Yeah, that's the downside. That's the downside, Zach. There's got to be a downside to have. Look, Soul Ring is busted. It's broken. I mean, like, they would not print it today. I mean, if they put this in a Commander product, I'd be flabbergasted. I'd be like, what have they done? So yeah, there has to be. The downside is that if you want to accelerate your mana, you're also accelerating everyone else's mana. But remember, everyone else gets mana, so everyone has to keep 2 eyes on everybody. Okay, does anyone in chat want a freebie? I saw Benovsky wants a freebie. All right, you get a freebie, Benovsky. Leon Aiko. Okay, you got one of the last 4 free super chats. Very nice art. I love it. Okay, this is a 4 mana 3/3 Leon Scion of House Aiko. Human Noble. It's got Exploit. That's an old mechanic. First Strike Vigilance. When Leon exploits a creature, create a tap treasure token, and you become the Monarch. Ha! Pay a red, tap, discard a card. Leon deals 3 damage to any target. Untap Leon if non-token creature died this way. For once, the exploit is actually good. The exploit is quite insane. Yeah, the exploit is really, really strong because whatever creature you sacrifice, you're going to get something back out of it. I mean, you're going to at least draw a card at the end of turn, right? You pay 1 to cast it, which is the charge. You can't have extra mana rocks for nothing. All right, you're going to give 1 to everybody. So that's the only justifiable way I can see making that card fair. If you want 1, you got to share with everybody. What to say about this card? I don't think I have anything to say about this card. What's refreshing is that this makes Exploit good. because exploit really sucked. Like, exploit was so bad. I don't think it was like not really a competitive mechanic. The exploiting a creature was just too backbreaking of a disadvantage for whatever you got out of it. So I really like how this exploit actually has. It's got some meat on the bones. It's got some meat on its bones. There's a combo using one with nothing and some other stuff that makes it so you end the turn with no library, graveyard, or hand. Oh, DRDCA is super far behind in the show. But at some point, they're going to catch up. We're at 2.5 hours so far. Okay, anyone else want? Does anyone want a super chat? There's 3 left. 3 delicious super chats. Okay, let's give it to the next. Whoops. Let's give it to the next person that I can run into that didn't get a card. Oh, this is Lil MX Doom's card. Who else wants to be part of the show? There's Zach's cards. There's the damn draws card. Everyone's getting ready. Everyone gets ready. Everyone gets ready. We got the Teach, the Scepter of the Twin Kings. This is a 7-mana legendary artifact with Ward 3. Whenever you attack, draw a card for each other attacking creature on the battlefield that shares at least one creature type with it. So it supports Kindred. Draw a card for each other attacking creature. Oh, at least one creature type with it. As long as Scepter of the Twin Kings is on the battlefield under its owner's control, target opponent cannot target you or creatures you control. Oh my god! So Hexproof and Shroud from one player? Target opponent cannot... I think what this... The only thing that this card... And it has Ward 3 at the same time. Does that even make sense? Oh, from, I guess, other players. So what I think this card just needs to be is like when Scepter of Twin Kings enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. And then as long as Scepter of Twin Kings is on the opponent, the chosen opponent cannot target you or creatures you control. And I think you got a card. That's one weird... It's one weird looking scepter. It's the Scepter of Absolute Darkness. Absolute. There's nothing in there. It's a void, essentially. Okay, 2 more super chats. Okay, I can't skip this. Wednesday, it's green. 2-2. Frog meme. It is Wednesday, my dudes. The wise frog. I couldn't skip that. That's beautiful. Okay, who's next? We got the Saint of Circumstances with the Stream of Enlighten. This is a mountain? Oh, it's another artifact land. You can't play Stream of Enlighten from your hand. It's the same thing. Whenever it enters the battlefield, sacrifice a basic land. That's a backbreaking disadvantage. Tap, add 2 mana of any color, phases out until your next end step. Phases out until your next end step of your next turn. This card's terrible. I think this card's worse than just like a Karoo land. So the last card was maybe a little broken, or maybe not a little broken, a little misunderstood. This card is very, very underwhelming. I think adding 2 mana is fine. I think it's fine because when it enters the battlefield, you have to sacrifice a basic land. And probably if you don't sacrifice Stream of Enlighten, like I think that's the idea. And I think a land that adds 2 mana, even though you sacked another one, is like totally within the power level of the game. Because like, what are the Karoo lands? You play, it's like a double. It's a land that adds 2 mana. Oh, I do have to admit, this thing doesn't come into battlefield tapped. But you still lose the land. Yeah, I know, you can't sacrifice a basic if you don't have a basic. That's why I said you have to add the clause. If you can't sacrifice the basic, you have to destroy the Stream of Enlighten. Well, maybe this is fair then, I think. So it's a bunch of... It's accelerated mana early. And then later on, you're basically going to lose it. Phases out until your next end step, your next turn. So like it's going to phase out. And then on the next turn... I can't remember how phasing works. We're gonna lose it for 2 turns, right? Something like that. But if you have no basics, you sack nothing. I know. So we have to add like you don't got a basic, you sack this damn thing too. That's just how it's gonna have to work. Anyway, it's interesting. How many do we have left? Okay, well, Saint of Circumstance, you got 2 cards already. Teach got a card. They're active. They're super active here. The Magic Apocalypse with Nashi Shadow Moon Agent. It's a 4-mana 4/2 Rat Phyrexian Ninja with Ninjutsu of 3 mana. Ninja cards in your hand have Ninjutsu, pay 3 life. Pay 3 life, return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a copy of a creature from your graveyard? Except it's a 2/2 Phyrexian Ninja with Menace and Death Touch in addition to its other steps. So we're basically reanimating stuff, but it's a 2/2. Maybe it's not that bad. It reminds me of that zombie mechanic where you can you reanimate something from the graveyard, but it's a 4/4 like black zombie. So I guess it's like somewhere within that same territory. That works out. Ninjutsu pay 3 seems OP. Oh yeah, pay 3 life and no mana. No. A ninja. Oh god, ninja cards in your hand have ninjutsu. Oh, but you need this on the battlefield though. Oh, wait a minute. So if you get this on, you can still do. Okay, so attack, no blockers, ninjutsu for 3. This thing comes into play. But you still need to. It's interesting. I think it's interesting. I think in a one-on-one game, the 3 life is going to be pretty significant. Maybe in Commander it'll be less significant. I think in one-on-one it'll just be complete beating. I think it's really damaging. So I'm gonna give it a pass for now, because you still have to keep bouncing and unblock cards. So you can bounce the Nashi, but then after that, then like you can't bounce anything else because Nashi is not in play anymore. You don't have 3 mana to get it back in play. This allows to ninjutsu in any ninja, including Morophon. That's fine. Put Morophon in your ninja deck. You're ridiculous. You're insane. You'll be crazy. Okay, I like it. Okay, one more super chat. We'll give it to the Debt Collector. I'm gonna prepare you all. Okay, we have 5 white mana, a 1/10 construct wizard. Each player can cast more than 1 spell each turn. No more than 1 creature can attack each combat. No more than 1 creature can block each combat. Creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. I'm not going to say it's broken, but it's probably not a very fun card to play against. All right, everyone. Dobie is free. That's it for today. Wow, 2.5-hour stream. We haven't had one of those in a while. And as usual, of course, we do the show 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thank you very much, everyone who supports the channel. With money. People from Patreon, the members on YouTube, or you super chat or you contribute with super chats to the show, or even help everyone be part of the show with your super chats. And of course, thank you to the Coffee crew, the Zyber Nation being here every single day. People like Zach Magnus, Toads, Bell, Steve Cooper, Benjamin Berkey, Kano, Pedgeman, Little Deadfly, Cameron Cole, Jess, of course, Benovsky, the Jaded. I'll say hi to Toads all over again, because you guys are the crew, what makes the show every day. So keep brewing those coffees, my coffee crew, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.